and driver making it or breaking it.
Yeah. The championship race is not over. We've done a lot of math, and we're going to tell you about it as we go.
Well, we're going to certainly get into that as we move through this evening, because it is the penultimate round. As you can see, we have had 5 rounds already. Round 1 we missed in Italy. We went on to round 2 in Spain. Then it was round 3 in Finland. Then round 4 in Kildare in Ireland. Round 5 in Riga in Latvia just a few weeks ago. And we're right here in Germany. And in 3 weeks' time, the ultimate final in Warsaw in Poland at the PGA Narodowy in the capital of Poland. The Drift Masters Red Bull final. The championship ends there, and it will be decided on Polish soil. Well, there we go. This is the driver standings as they stand right now after qualifying, after top 32. Piotr Więcek still leads the championship with 306 points, but closely in tow with 290 is Conor Shanahan, and James Dean, who bowed out of competition in top 32, still in 3rd place with 233. But as things move on, Jacob, you've been doing the maths, this could all change.
Yeah, as of right now, as it stands here, there are 9 different drivers that mathematically could win the championship. And as we go through, a few of them are going to drop off, but anything can happen because, like I said, 9 different drivers. I mean, crazy.
It is certainly crazy. Well, things were crazy earlier down in the paddock because all of our drivers went down in front of all of the crowd and did some driver signing, some autographs. It was time for the drivers to meet the fans and the fans to get some autographs from these guys. Laurie Heinlein, Naoki Nakamura, Dave Egan and Conor Falvey, who unfortunately bowed out of competition, but they're still down there signing the autographs, putting on a smile and taking the photos, doing what they love to do best.
Yeah, I mean, if you look in the back, I was right there getting as many autographs as I possibly could. It's such a cool time, and there's not many sports where you get to do that as we see this beautiful time lapse of the sun going down, and that means the track is tacking up and getting faster, and you can see this incredible top 16 ceremony as all the drivers coming out and parading with all the fans in tow. What an awesome time, and like I said earlier, these fans are ravenous tonight.
They certainly are. They're hungry for it. And there we go. Just the Czech Republic fans there. The Marko Zakaril fans are making a lot of noise this evening. And there was a huge cheer for the man of the moment for them, Max Heidrich,
yeah,
the local hero who won against James Dean, but not the way he would like to have won. James Dean bowing out due to technical issues with that car. And Conor Shanahan there, look at him standing proud, the man who top qualifying and who won the qualifying showdown. Can he win tonight? Can he overtake Peter and take the championship back before we go to Poland?
Yeah, the points race is definitely on. 16 points separating them at this moment, and it's going to be tight, but listen to this.
We sat here earlier and I said to you, it's like being at a football match.
It's crazy.
The fans now are so passionate about their nations. They're so passionate about what's going on, and they're following these drivers around Europe as we take it around 7 countries in a year. They're following the whole circus. But this is a recap of what happened in top 32. Marko Zakaril got the job done against Estonian driver Oliver Randloo. Randloo just couldn't hang with the pace and the grip. That new engine package in that 2 Series seems to be working. And look what it meant to Marko Zakaril to get the win against Oliver Randloo.
Yeah, and then right after that, I mean, we get into just another epic battle that took one more time to really get it dialed in. But, oh, man, look at the energy there. All the Czech fans absolutely stoked. And, I mean, we were too. Great battle, and this is it. This is what I was getting to. That one more time between Kvyat and Piscotty, it was nuts. It was crazy. There was fire. They were running out of tread. It became a war of attrition, 4 tires, just to figure out who was going to be able to get through. But ultimately, Piscotty getting that after the one more time. Crazy, crazy battle. Amazing, amazing way to get things going.
Yeah, this is where it all went wrong for James Dean, trying to take on the local hero, the local legend that is Max Heidrich. He got the first run in the bag. James Dean put down a flawless lead run, as he always does, and Max Heidrich was making a few mistakes in the background, firing that S13.5 or S13.9 in onto the door, and it was only when they got back to the tyre warming area that James Dean discovered that the battery voltage was low. He had to cut the car out, and this is the interview he had with Becky after.
We did a great lead run with Max, and I was excited for this battle. Hometown hero, and really happy what we're doing in the lead run. And as I crossed the finish line, I noticed that my battery voltage was low, so I called my team to run down because I wanted to make sure. I had a feeling it was the fan belt, even though it never happened on this car before. But I got my team to run down to make sure that this didn't get tangled and knock off the dry sump belt. So it was very frustrating, nothing we could do, and just a bit of bad luck. But we felt strong in practice. The car has been killing it. The team were doing really well, supporting me. The only issue we had this weekend, and it just happened at the worst time.
And that's how it went down, and even Max Heidrich went over to speak to James Dean to say what happened, what's the issue, and he wouldn't have wanted to win that way. This is how it played out for Jack Shanahan, though, as Shanahan took on David Sposok from Poland. Got the win, and Sposok just couldn't hang with the pace of Jack Shanahan, who was in that qualifying showdown final last night against his brother.
Yeah, and the way it stacks up right now with the points, Jack Shanahan only a little bit behind James Dean. 5 points as of this moment. So if he can continue on, if he can keep going through these, he could then supersede James in the standings. That would be absolutely massive. A lot can happen between now and then, and Connor Shanahan, I mean, Jarkko Jula definitely put up a big fight, but this is the driver that's got so many eyes on him right now. 16 points behind the lead. Every single battle is going to mean everything to this championship. Nothing will be said here. We've done it. It's going to set everything up for what's going to happen in a few weeks.
It certainly is, yeah. A few weeks' time, we head to Poland, as we say, to that PGA Narodowy in Warsaw, the capital. But this man's still in it. Piotr Więcek still in the fight, still in it. Made his way through Fionn Roach and got the win done. That car so far so gripped up, and all the drivers saying he's probably now the fastest man on circuit. And you can see that Peter doesn't take everything, and he takes every single run, in his stride.
Yeah. I mean, the fastest, the most precise, stylish, but it's going to be so tough to take him down.
It certainly is. Well, this is what we got coming up this evening here in Germany at round 6. This is your top 16 battle tray. It's going to be Shanahan taking on Makiva, Zakharil Nakamura, Pavel Korpelinski, Kroll, Pasur Heidrich, Wycheck, Sadeh, Laurie Heinen, Piscotty, Shanahan Road, Keski Korpi, Al Habali. And these are some of the ones that we've highlighted. You've highlighted these ones. These are your picks.
Yeah, Connor Shanahan, Dwayne McKeever. Dwayne's not going to give up at any point in time. I mean, listen, there's some pride there for sure, and they want to help out their fellow countrymen, but that's not going to be the case here. And then, yeah, Laurie Heinen and Kevin Piscotty, that is going to be just epic. Two drivers that are on heaters, definitely need to pick up these points. In contention still for that championship, Jack Shanahan, Espen Rhodes. Espen's just been impressing me every single run, but Jack Shanahan impressed me with the first run. So can he keep that going all the way through? Can Espen step up even more and take out Jack Shanahan, who's fighting now to get into that top 3? He's got to win that battle to do it. So every battle in top 16, though, an absolute riot. Oh, man. I just want to get this going.
Well, first of all, we need to have a look at the track.
Okay.
Because if these guys haven't joined us, and they've only just joined us now on Red Bull TV, you're going to find out exactly what the track is and what our guys have to battle with tonight. We've gone under the lights. This is during the day. They're off the line, third gears, first, second, third. Then flick the car. That white line is the start of scoring. You have to be sideways at there. Then it's first outside zone, right to the edge of the circuit. Following that white line to 2, then outside zone 3. Then it's a long transition, but get the braking done before you get to outside zone 4 in that lead position. All the way around, long outside zone 4 with a bumper on the wall, and then a snappy back on the wall again as you then squeeze the throttle as far down as it will go. Get to the car, right to the edge of the circuit, to the white line, and into that final outside zone and across the finish line. It seems so easy, but now the light has gone. Now we illuminate the track with not only lights, with pyro as well. We have it all going on here in Germany.
Yeah, there's everything. You've got lasers, fire. I mean, we might see tires catch fire again. And as we learned in qualifying, as the sun goes down, as the temps drop, this track is actually getting faster. So we'll see how the drivers are able to do it. Will they start to use that lead versus chase? There's a lot of different tactics that they can play with right now. We'll see how it all lays out.
Well, look, the time for talking's over. The crowd are ready. I'm ready. Let's turn the heat up in Germany once again for this weekend. It's time for our top 16. Well, there's no time to mess around. The parade was pretty, it was glorious, it was glamorous. It was time to wave to the fans in the grandstands. The little break we had between top 32 and top 16, there was down on the beach swimming in the lake. That's over. All of that's forgotten about now because the helmet is on, the visor slammed shut, and it's time for business. And on the line, we have two steely competitors who have met time and time again in competition. It will be leading them out, Connor Shanahan, to take on the one and only Northern Smoke Machine, Dwayne McKeever.
Oh, it's almost a shame it's going down in top 16 right now because this will sure to be an incredible battle. Neither of them back down. Connor needs to sustain the championship, and Dwayne needs this after all the mechanicals he's had this season.
But he's had heartbreak all the way through 2025. It isn't the year he'd wanted, but now Dwayne McKeever sits with a hope, with an opportunity to try and claw some points back, and he fires it onto the door. And Shanahan puts it to the wall. McKeever can't be shaken. They go to that second outside zone. And Shanahan's got that flawless lead line. The top qualifier yesterday puts it right where it needs to be. McKeever, though, in tow. He knows he can lean and trust on Shanahan as they come through the outside zone, through the smoke, the transition, so close. Almost ripping the front and back off both the cars. As McKeever goes for the door once again, Shanahan and across the line.
Yeah, just already epic. Just already epic right off the go. Even from the run-up, Dwayne McKeever was trying to push the pace of Connor Shanahan, which is just, I mean, it confounds me because you don't do that to a Connor Shanahan. The drivers going door on initiation is wild. Dwayne actually over-angling above Connor Shanahan, who then gets on the throttle through outside zone 2. A lot of drivers were struggling between 1 and 2, but you are not seeing it here. You can see the flashes going off, the flames firing off in the background. Like, this is such a difficult track for so many reasons. You've got low light, you got lasers, fire, the fans absolutely screaming. I mean, it is a distracting place to drive.
It certainly is, yeah, it's not easy. And as you can see, we've illuminated those outside zones with those lights shining down onto the circuit to make it easier for the drivers to see them, because we've been told it's so dark out there.
Yeah.
We get complete darkness later on in the evening that you cannot see the track at all.
Yeah, this whole place changes as the night goes on. Both the lights and the traction, everything. The crowd will get even louder. The cars will get even more worn down. So this is an ever-developing race circuit that we have built here in the middle of this island.
There we go, cars down the back of the grid getting cooled down. Temperature's still around 25 degrees at the moment at the track, so still very, very warm. And as I say, a lot of guys taking the opportunity to go for a swim down there on the man-made beach at the back end of the circuit. As Dwayne McKeever now pulls to the line, and Connor Shanahan gets that GT86 into gear and pulls up to the line for the chase position. Our start line marshal Marcin donning the shirt for top 16 this evening, puts the thumbs up both sides. The smart trousers and the shirt are on. It might be business for Marcin, but it's business in more for the drivers in the cars. They slam through the gears. Look at this, Shanahan watching McKeever's every move as they fire down to initiation. McKeever fires that car in. Shanahan shallows up the angle, looks for the front wheel, looks for the door. And McKeever's 180SX as he absolutely fires through the outside zone. Shanahan goes for kill though, he goes for the back bumper already, and now starts to lose a little ground as McKeever squeezes the throttle through the floor. Big brake transition from Shanahan, he jumps onto the door, and this could be the move he needed as he squeezes McKeever to the wall.
Oh man, there it is, a little pop and bang there at the end, a little flame to get the fans going. Oh, just a crazy one right off the bat. And to me, this is probably the most shook I've seen Connor Shanahan in a very, very long time. Dwayne is able to throw some crazy angle and some crazy commitment off the line. I thought he was going right into the wall with the amount of speed that he was running. And Connor had a couple of small missteps. Now, Dwayne's line is super, super solid through this, but we are so used to seeing Connor Shanahan absolutely buried in the door of his competitor. And as you can see there through outside zone 4, that was not the case. Had to take a little bit to really dive into it. Now, even going back into our previous one, Dwayne had a couple of spots as well where he wasn't perfect, so this is going to be a back and forth for these judges who have the ability to go through all the replays, all the angles, and of course the Wally system that we talk so highly about. And yeah, this is already going to be a really, really tough battle here in our top 16. So I have no idea which way this is going to go, but these drivers compete with each other so often.
Well, you can see what it means to Connor Shanahan. He's kind of a little bit nervous down there, waiting for the decision. They're looking at the big screen we've got on track. Are those guys going to watch that footage back of the replays and what went down on circuit from our side of the car? And I think Connor Shanahan a little nervous there. I don't know if he thinks he's done enough against Dwayne McKeever. McKeever will be happy just to make it this far in competition. He's had a rough ride in 2025 and it continued into his first qualifying run yesterday. Look at that, a sigh of relief for Connor Shanahan. Oh, is he going to go left for McKeever, right for Shanahan? Oh, it's going to be a one more time. It's a one more time and split. The judges couldn't split them. There was just nothing in it.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think there was a couple of small mistakes here and there, but yeah, great run.
Great run, yeah. And I mean, look, why not? Why not see him one more time? Those guys, you know, I think even they knew that there was a few bits in there, and you could see what Connor was nervous.
Yeah, not often you see him like that.
No.
It's a little sheepish. You can kind of see it. Normally comes out with all the confidence, kind of smacking his hands, and he's ready to go. That one, not quite the same.
No, certainly not. Well, there we go. Back on the line we go. Marco Zaccaril to take on Naoki Nakamura. And Zaccaril, the higher qualifier. Looks like he's sitting in the chase position once again. Yeah, so you're new to Drift Masters. The higher qualifier chooses whether they lead or chase first. Zaccaril this weekend been opting to chase first. So feeling more comfortable in that chase position. The visor's down. It's serious time now for Marco Zaccaril as Naoki Nakamura sits on the line. That incredible 2JZ powered GR86. Nakamura, a little shake of the head, thumbs up to the camera. He's happy. He's having some good fun here in Germany. Gets the nod. Car slams into gear, and one more thumbs up before he launches that car off the start line. Nakamura to lead out Marco Zaccaril as they fire through the gears. Anti-lag popping and banging from both the cars, and Zaccaril goes a little dive down the inside and an odd line into outside zone 1 for Nakamura. Now starts to find the pace, squeezes the throttle, but there's no shaking. Zaccaril at the moment looks for outside zone 4, both sides into it nice and deep. Zaccaril giving Nakamura room to manoeuvre. Will he now make the dive down the inside, or has Nakamura got the grip and he puts it where it needs to be? Nakamura onto the wall, goes wide and shallow in that final outside zone.
Nakamura has gotten much smoother through. I mean, after qualifying, I was a little concerned because he's got the line dial, but couldn't really figure out the grip in the car. He had so much of it dialed in, but now this is back to the Nakamura that, I mean, for so many of us, literally grew up watching. That Japanese style is back. He's getting that car slung out all the way through, but for Zaccaril, he is hungry, absolutely hungry here in the chase, and just, I mean, really pushing the pace, hunting him down, every single description I can give it for that chase driving. And Zaccaril, but he's smart about it. You know, he's not at any point in time putting himself in danger or risking something too much that's going to potentially get himself knocked out. Now, a lot of times that can work for you, but now that we're into the top 16, as we move through these battles, being a little bit cautious and a little bit smart may not be the best way to go, especially against right now a Nakamura who's completely on form.
I'm going to say Nakamura didn't have the cleanest lead line, though.
I don't disagree with that.
There was a few moments of handbraking. There was a few moments where he was into a zone, and then you could see he was going to go too far in, and he kind of adjusted the steering wheel, and I think that threw Marco Zaccaril off.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it's that lead and chase thing, and for a really good chase driver, they do end up reacting to what's going on in the lead. So lead car makes an adjustment, a great chase driver is going to make the same adjustment.
I wonder if Marco Zaccaril hung back a little bit there because he knew maybe that Naoki Nakamura qualifying in 24th wasn't the cleanest in lead.
Yep.
And decided, you know what, I'm going to hang back and my lead is going to do all the talking here.
Yeah, that's completely fair. And, you know, Zaccaril qualifying 8th, we know he's got that lead line absolutely dialed, so let's see what he can do now that he's out front.
Here we go, in the lead position, Marco Zaccaril now to lead out. Naoki Nakamura as they come off the start line and through the gears and fires in, and Zaccaril already on it, already deep into that outside zone. Nakamura tucks up onto the inside, onto the door, and Zaccaril gives him the perfect lead to follow. Wow, that transition from Nakamura, you can see how close he was. Both dive into outside zone 4, Nakamura hunting him down as he goes for the door once again through the smoke. Nakamura way out of position though, mistime the transition, now goes to get himself back into the fight as they jump across the line.
Wow, that was pretty dicey there. Nakamura having a bit of a mistake and trying to just do anything he possibly could to get back into the zone there. So got a little bit risky as we check in, and all the Czech fans who are already ready for this decision. They are completely on their feet. They are locked in on this. So you get this beautiful drone. You can see just how many people are just, I mean, shoulder to shoulder packed in here in Ferropolis. This lead run from Zaccaril is so pretty. It's smooth, but still aggressive. His transitions are snappy and quick, but he doesn't look like he's going to over-rotate at any point in time. And you can see, I mean, he's got this on the, not completely on the limiter, just
he's
off
on and off.
He's playing with that grip all the way through, and right there, coming from 5 into 6, he picks up a ton of speed, and Nakamura just wasn't able to hang from it. So does pick up a bit more grip as we get into the last zones, but solid run there from Zaccaril. And for Nakamura, I mean, we'll see how this turns out for him.
We certainly will. As they wait for the decision to come in, they're looking back at the replay and seeing how it all went down. The fans nervously wait in the grandstand. Who's going to get the win and advance through to our top 8? The first driver to go into our top 8 after one more time between Connor Shanahan and Dwayne McKeever.
Czech fans, man.
It doesn't look like it's going to be an easy decision, and I'm going to tell you right now, that's going to be the tail of the tape the whole evening through, because these guys are driving like every battle is a final.
Yeah, this is where the judges make their money on nights like this, because the driving has gotten so good, and we're only talking about, you know, 3 turns, 7 outside zones, but I mean the 4th outside
3
zone.
corners. That's all it comes down to.
That's all. So,
well, they think he's got the win, that's for sure.
I love this chant, though.
Oh, it's brilliant. Here we go. Decisions in. Left for Zaccaril, right for Nakamura. It's 1 vote for Zaccaril. It's going to be Marco Zaccaril getting the win, advancing through to the top 8. It's a split decision. We quickly come to you, David Kalas. A split in the panel there.
Yeah, the thing is that we saw like very strong 2 chase runs, and we saw 2 lead runs with small mistakes. For me and Mateusz, it comes to big cuts of Naoki in the last corner, where Vernon thought that this is not enough to not send it one more time. So it was 2 for Marco and 1 for one more time.
Thank you very much, David Kalas, and our judges this evening, as always, for the whole 2025 season. David Kalas, Vernon Svanefeld, Mateusz Jedges, and Chris Witowski on our fourth EVS judge down the back end there. So we move it back on, more action. We're keeping it hot and heavy this weekend. It's going to be two Polish superstars going head-to-head right here in Germany. And the man that's been on the podium twice in Germany is Paweł Korpolinski. He is going to lead out Jakob Kroll in that carbon Kevlar S14.9.
Yeah, I mean, Korpolinski, I don't know who's going to be able to take him down, but Jakob Kroll has been wild. He has been pulling out everything. I mean, maybe just a touch of luck there in top 32, but with that, I mean, you take that, you want to run with it, you hopefully clean things up. So we're going to have, you know, the surgeon in Paweł Korpolinski versus Jakob Kroll, who's a wild man this evening.
He certainly is. Well, here we go, off the line, through the gears, comes Paweł Korpolinski to lead them out. Big clutch kick for initiation, but look at that from Kroll, already onto the rear wheel, as Korpolinski puts it to the wide line, takes a bumper off the back end of the S14, as he now a little shallow on the outside zone 3. Oh, and a shutdown there from Jakob Kroll. I think he mistimed the transition completely and had to back out of it now, gets himself back into the fight as Korpolinski into that last outside zones, looks for the final one, and across the line goes Korpolinski.
Yeah, that mistake there from Kroll is quite massive. That is going to be really hard to overcome, but when you're behind like that, when you've got that situation where you know you've made a massive mistake, maybe a mechanical shutdown of some kind, or just mistiming that transition, like you said, now you go into it, you swap things around, you go for that lead. Oh my God,
He's so good.
He's so good in the lead, man. It's
in
tough.
the pitch black, running the bumper on the wall.
He could do it blindfolded. I will guarantee it. He could do this blindfolded.
Oh, he scared himself on the transition, Kroll.
Yeah.
I think he thought he was going to hit Korpolinski and put him into the wall.
I think he would have if he didn't back out of that when he did.
It would have been contact.
Yeah, that definitely would have been contact. So, I mean, Korpolinski, his lead, this is what we've come to expect. His chase, he's getting so good in the chase. It is, and I mean, like top 3, this is a driver's top 5 last year, but he is now in that top 3, top 2 championship level as he's going through this chase. But for me, all eyes are on Jakob Kroll in his lead. Does he pull out something absolutely epic? Because he tries something like maybe Jack Shanahan did in qualifying, like with this massive entry, and try to shake off Korpolinski, who's very dialed and calculated and might be a little bit risk adverse and may not try to chase Kroll into deep water. If I'm Kroll spotter, I'm telling him, look, throw the biggest entry you possibly can, make sure you land it, and hopefully that messes up something for the chase driver. I think that's the only way you're going to be able to take this.
I mean, I like your analogy.
Okay.
But I just think going against Paweł Korpolinski, I think you've got to be exceptional.
And
I think that mistake in the chase, I don't think you're going to get away with it.
But can you get Korpolinski to have a mistake in the chase?
You think shake Korpolinski?
That's the only way he's going to get this.
I don't think anyone can shake Korpolinski this weekend. Here we go, they're off the line and through the gears. It's going to be Jakob Kroll to lead out Paweł Korpolinski of spot into the top 8 away as they fire through. Look at this with Korpolinski, no messing around, already starts to fire on the side of that carbon Kevlar S14.9 as he transitions through the smoke. Kroll into that nice line, nice and deep into outside zone 4 as Korpolinski keeps himself in the moment. Through the smoke he comes, absolutely dangerous transition, he does make a mistake. Jakob Kroll throws Korpolinski off across the line. I eat my words. I'm going to eat them. Get me a spoon.
It happens, man. It happens. I didn't think it was going to happen, and really, Jakob Kroll, it wasn't anything massive or in particular like out of favor. It was just a big angle going out to it. Now the judges are going to be staring at this, trying to understand what happened. Did Jakob Kroll do something that he shouldn't have? Was Korpolinski just getting a little bit too aggressive? Because even through outside zone 4, I was getting worried. I'm like, why are you in that deep? Why are you starting to push this pace? Look as he comes through here. Korpolinski, with that transition, it just didn't look right as he started to swing through, and then Kroll gets back on the speed, and that was it. So it'll be really interesting to find out, did Kroll slow down either too much or too far, and is that what created the issue? But realistically, you've got 2 drivers with very similar mistakes in 2 different parts of the track. Tough one.
Look at the heavy breathing from both those guys.
They didn't want to take the helmets off. Yeah. I get it. Oh.
No, maybe they think this is going to go one more time. Kroll knows he made a mistake. Korpolinski knows he made a mistake. Listen, I'm no judge, but I've been watching drifting for a few years now.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you can also look at this where Jakob Kroll had the mistake earlier on, maybe sacrificed more zones, whereas Korpolinski made it later and didn't sacrifice as many zones. So that could go in his favor, but it's tough to say.
certainly is tough to say. Well, here we go. Decisions inside him. Left for Kroll, right for Korpolinski. It's going to be one vote for Korpolinski. It's going to be Pavel Korpolinski getting the win and advancing through. And I'll get the information from the judges in a few moments' time. There, no doubt they'll tell me what it is.
Yeah, that's, I mean, that is absolutely massive there. So, I mean, yeah, for Korpolinski, that is absolutely massive. I mean, got away with that one, and man, I mean, he's going to be definitely counting his lucky stars on that one as we get our next drivers here piled into the burnout box and getting ready at the line as Ian's getting the rundown. What's the quick?
Korpolinski's mistake just wasn't as big as Jakob Kroll's, and when you look at it back on the replay, you can see what it was. Well, here we go. We're back on the line. The local hero, Max Heidrich, now sits alongside Kevin Passeur. Heidrich, the lower qualifier, sorry, asked a question by Kevin Passeur. You lead first.
We talked about this. Let the other driver maybe
make the mistake.
Yeah, and especially with you know, the issues we've seen between 1 and 2, let them test it out.
Well, here we go. They're off the line, ready to rock and roll. They get the green light, and it's going to be Max Heidrich to lead out. Kevin Passeur for a spot in the straight 8 or top 8 away as they fire down. Look at the speed though from Heidrich as he fires that car in. Well, it's a mistake, and it's a mistake from Kevin Passeur. Oh, and he's hit the wall.
Yeah,
hit the wall and DB'd. And Kevin Passeur going to finish up the run. I don't think we called it on the camera angle. It looked like a wild initiation down into 1. I wonder if he clipped the wall outside zone 2. And yeah, it looks like it's broken rear suspension on the car. The wheel's broken, the tyres DB'd. I think that's going to be the end of the weekend.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it even happened earlier on. Judges are starting to take a look. It may have happened even at 1. So it was a really, really big initiation there for Max Heidrich. And yeah, we'll catch it here. So take a look.
Yeah, here we go.
As we get through on this drone view, but watch at the very left of your screen, the bottom section.
Oh yeah,
see that spark?
Just taps the wheel.
It's a tough part. I mean, if you've got a ton of angle at that point, you can get away with it because you're just dragging bumper, but not enough. And man, rough go there for Max Heidrich, who always a wild man. Always a wild man, so that's a
I mean, look,
go.
he knew he had to throw down 110%. He knew he had Kevin Passeur from Estonia hunting him down, a man that's currently chasing down, you know, the championship as well. He's still in contention for it at some point, but it's going to be a unanimous decision from our judges. Kevin Passeur from Estonia gets the win, advances through to the top 8.
Yeah, that's going to be huge for his championship race as well. As you said, one of the drivers that are still hunting it down, so he's going to pick up.
So he's currently sitting 5th in the championship.
Well, hey, let me get through. Come on,
sorry.
I know.
I'm trying to copy your homework over here.
It's okay. It's okay. I got the abacus out. I'm sliding the little beads over. I will get all this math done.
You were just counting on your toes. That was disturbing.
Well, I've run out of toes once we're at 232. I got a lot of volunteers.
Right, so there we go. We're going to get Max Heidrich recovered off the circuit as Kevin Passeur takes that car around, and he won't need to complete the buy run. Not deemed at fault, so, and he's going to jump out. Look at this true sportsman. He's going to jump out and have a word with Max.
Well, you know you've got to throw.
Yeah, look at this. Kevin Passeur lifts the arm of Max Heidrich, the man that just wanted to qualify here at this event in front of his home fans, in front of his family that have come with him this weekend to support him. Not only did he qualify, he made sure he got himself into the main show, and that was top 16. And unfortunately, the only German driver on the grid now out of competition as Heidrich's car gets plucked off the tarmac and taken back to the pits, where I guess the party will start.
Yeah, I think, I mean, it's one of those, it's a terrible way to end your night, but that also means, especially here, that night is just beginning.
Yeah, here.
Just kicking off.
As we, yeah.
They'll have that car repaired in absolutely no time and celebrate.
No, that car will go straight on the trailer as it is, and that'll be repaired at another time. Here we go, Max Heidrich. Look at this, on the wall, waving to the fans. We do truly miss having Max Heidrich, such a character, such a personality around Drift Masters. So we hope to see him again in the future. He said he misses it. He said the sport has grown so big and he watches it now and he says, I wish I was still part of the circus.
Maybe we'll see him back. Maybe it is a sign of things to come.
Yeah, fingers crossed, let's hope so. So there we go, full darkness here in Ferropolis now, and you can see the scenes, you can see the sides, you can see the lights.
Yeah, wild. Yeah, the sparks coming off Max Heidrich. I mean, it was such a quick moment, but that's not the sparks that you're looking for.
No.
We're hoping for, maybe bash bar on concrete, not not wheel on concrete. Nobody's a big fan of that. I think we're gonna get the slow-mo of it. Yeah, so right where that light spot is, you can see it. There it is.
And you know what? I missed it because it looked like he was coming through the outside zone on the handbrake.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, it was a very, very quick moment, but that's all it takes right now.
Certainly is. When we go back to the line to the one more time battle between Conor Shanahan and Dwayne McKeever.
Do you think there's any conversation of like, hey, Dwayne, like, can you go easy? I need this championship.
No. I don't. Hey, listen, look, you know, fellow Irishman, don't get me wrong, but when the helmet's on and the visor goes down, there are no friends.
No.
Because every single driver wants to be on the podium, spraying the champagne, looking at the points that they've bagged over the course of a weekend. Conor Shanahan wouldn't want that either.
No, that's a good point.
He wouldn't want Dwayne to, you know, sit back and take it easy. He'd want him to put on a fight. Well, here we go. Car slams into gear, wait for the green lights. Shanahan to lead out McKeever, the higher qualifier, opted to lead first once again as he clutch kicks that car to initiation. But look at McKeever right down the inside, more aggressive than he was before. He goes wheel to wheel, backs off to let Shanahan get the job done on that transition now. Works his way back into the groove. As Shanahan goes for outside zone 4, McKeever's closer than ever before. Look at this, he's tagging the door on outside zone 4. McKeever's a man possessed. How did he make that transition work? McKeever back onto the door. Once again, goes to seal the deal, and he does across the line.
I don't know how he keeps dialing it up like this. He's finding more pace in the car, in the chase. I mean, and for Conor, it's getting quicker, it's getting more aggressive. There's going to be no paint left on the rear end of that 8.6 by the time this weekend is over, because he's just grinding at every single spot that he can find. Look at that, how close he is to the wall. And Dwayne, I mean, he's electing to initiate side by side, which is incredibly difficult here. And Dwayne was one of the drivers in the meeting electing. He's like, no, I want to be able to do it. I want to be able to do it. Look at this. I think he's catching the back end. He's catching the front end. Dwayne's just, I mean, he's driving by Braille at this point. He's just basically just touching Conor Shanahan all the way through the run, making sure he's still there and not letting him go anywhere. Oh my gosh, and the amount of smoke that they're putting down right now, just a great indication of how hard they are driving and everything that they are putting into this run. How does this end? Do we just keep doing one more time until we run out of tires?
I just watched that back and I thought, this could go on all night.
It definitely could.
This could go on all night. And this is only a top 16 battle.
Yeah, we could be all the way through the rest of the brackets and they'll still be battling each other. Oh, man.
Well, these guys pulled to the line, ready to do it again. And I mean, if you're Conor Shanahan, Spot and Matty, what do you say to him?
Just go. Everything. 100%. Whatever you've got, go. That'll be it.
Throw it all in.
All
Kitchen
in.
sink, the anchor, the lot, throw the whole lot in.
Yeah, this is your championship right now. Because that's what it is.
Well, it is the championship right now. It is big championship on the line right now for Conor Shanahan. He slams that car into gear and he gets the green light. McKeever leaves and they are ready to rock and roll as they come down and through the gears, flick that car to initiation. Look at this, Shanahan now tries to repay the favour as he goes door to door through outside zone 1. Shanahan, almost mirror image of McKeever's chase, and now McKeever opens up the throttle. Shanahan goes for a brave dive. They get into outside zone 4. He tags it on the wall and upsets the line ever so slightly. Shanahan falls back as he now dives through the smoke, looking for the side. And McKeever's 180 SX. He's into the final outside zone and across the line.
I mean, Conor, this is the tough part. When you know you've got to go all in, when you know everything is on the line, you start to just make these jumps and make these dives. And for Conor Shanahan, there's one dive here that is so, not that it feels desperate, it's just, it seems like a panic moment. He's like, oh my gosh, Dwayne is so fast through this entire run. He's so committed. I mean, he's got like 90 degrees to every wall all the way around. He's riding lock the entire run, completely planted. The brake lights are not coming on for Dwayne. Like, it's nuts. And then right here,
They tags the wall though.
yes,
He tags the wall.
yeah, so Dwayne does catch the wall, and it shoots him out a little bit, and then that causes Conor to maybe seem like he's falling back just a touch. And then Conor does a great job of transitions, though.
Just the headlights through the smoke is just unbelievable.
Well, it's seeing the headlights, and then they disappear because he's so close. It's just blocking out the headlights, and then they pop out on the other side. Crazy.
Well, judges will have to come to a decision. And these two guys, I mean, look at this. Conor Shanahan, he still looks nervous.
Yeah.
Here we go, decisions in. Left for McKeever, right for Conor Shanahan. It's one vote for Shanahan. It's going to be Conor Shanahan getting the win. And we are going to have to go to David Kalas. David, a one more time battle, and that was so tough to judge.
Oh, it was tough. Those guys were so good. They did not leave anything on those spots for guessing. However, when Dwayne came to AutoZone 4, he hit the wall pretty strongly. it changed the fluidity, it changed the line, and it also affected the chaser that he needed to back off. And that was the deciding factor for us for this battle.
Thank you very much, David. Yeah, look, we spotted it, hit the wall, and you could see the way it affected the car. And you could see Connor kind of little lean back as if to go, whoa, buddy, I don't want to hit you.
Yeah, and really at first glance, it just looked like, and at first it was just like Dwayne had completely shot off. So here's the next big one.
The drama never ends at Drift Masters, or Drama Masters as people like to call it. We're back, and this is going to be more drama, more on the edge action, because right now we have Piotr Wieniec, who is currently leading the championship points.
Yes, well,
currently.
Technically, he's tied right now with Connor based on that placement.
Wow. Oh, right,
so,
okay. So he's tied on points at the moment with Connor Shanahan.
Now,
Itay Sadeh, he got on the podium at round two. He has nothing to lose. We've spoke about this before, the underdogs of the weekend. They could throw it all down. Itay sits on the line in a brand new car for 2025 with nothing but hunger in his belly for a win, and he would love to take down the three-time Polish champion. But what can he do right here in Germany under the lights in the melting pot as they get the green light to go? It's going to be Wieniec through the gears. Oh, and sparks are up from the back of Wieniec's car already. Fires into initiation. On the throttle he goes as Itay Sadeh gets lost in a cloud of dust. Can he catch up? Can he make a shortcut? As fires it towards the wall. Itay Sadeh now starting to rein in the champion as he fires it through, almost takes a back end off the Supra. Itay starts to get himself into the pocket as Wieniec takes it to the wall across the line.
Itay Sadeh just throwing caution to the wind and just going at this. Those sparks were a little concerning off the bat. That caught me, and I'm curious where those came from. Looks like he's running.
That was the underneath of the car hitting the floor. It runs it that low.
The front end is so low. Yeah, it looks like subframe scraping there. So interesting setup that they've got in that car right now, but it is absolutely working for Piotr Wieniec, who's just completely locked in. Yellow goggles on, ready to party, man. It's just wild to see. Itay Sadeh, though, I mean, does not give up at any point in time. He picked up a lot of pace in this car, although he's not completely on the door. Well, I'm eating those words right there. I mean, he's not.
You need the spoon?
Yeah. Can you pass that over, please? Itay Sadeh makes that great dive out of 4 into 5 to really close that gap to the last couple of zones, and how close everything is right now. It is coming down to one zone as the clock is up. It looks like it's for Itay.
Yep, Itay just taking a moment to cool the car down. This BMW 2 Series for 2025. He gets called to the line. He is there in time as Piotr sits on the line back there in that Supra with one headlight shining. It looks demonic sat there like that.
Hopefully, I mean, you need all the vision you can get right now. So even having that one headlight out might be a determining factor here, but we'll see.
Well, we will see. Here we go. Light goes green, and they are good to go as the other headlight pops into action off the line. They come through the gears. Itay Sadeh to lead out. Piotr Wieniec as they fire into outside zone 1, and Wieniec's glued to him, and he gives him the room for outside zone 2. Now Wieniec starts to make the kill, starts to dive onto the door of the young man as he fires into outside zone 4. Look at this. Wieniec trusts him, puts the car right where it needs to be, squeezes Itay Sadeh into the zones, makes a brave dive as Wieniec once again goes for the door of the BMW 2 Series and pushes him across the line.
I mean, that is a massive amount of respect that Piotr just showed through Itay Sadeh. That is huge props, huge kudos to chase like that. It shows how incredible of a driver he is becoming and just still developing, but Piotr Wieniec is all over him, and he's so calculated in the chase. The way that he dives in, it's so precise. Look, it drives it. Oh man, the scraping is wild. But dives in with the front, and as soon as that front gets into that proper proximity, the back end comes around. It's like dancing. It looks like he's doing the waltz out there. It's incredible what Piotr is able to do now. It completely wild. I mean, but same thing. Itay Sadeh provides such a clean lead run that allows Piotr to show this. It's just amazing. So. Yeah.
There we go. Decisions in. Left for Itay Sadeh, right for Piotr Wieniec, and it's going to be Wieniec. He gets the win, and the Polishman keeps the championship hope alive.
The other part, too, is this now knocks out 2 drivers from potential championship contention. So Yeah, Iteseda and Marco Zaccaril now mathematically not able to win the championship, but they can still start to fight for second, third, everything else. Piotr Vincek starts to extend the lead now.
Wow, so here we go. Things could be all changing this evening. We could lose some guys from the championship fight, and we could gain some more. Back on the line we go to the 2024 champion from Finland. It is the one and only Lauri Heinonen to take on from Hungary, Kevin Pascoti. Pascoti relieved after that top 32 win, and said he would love nothing more than to move forward in competition, said he's feeling good. I called him out, I said he wasn't driving this good this weekend in qualifying, and every time I talk bad about this young man, this cool, calm, collected Hungarian, he always seems to deliver.
Yeah.
Maybe I should keep it up. Look at this, elbows and fist bumps all round from Marcin Starlight Marshall, and the Undertaker sits in his car, cool like a cucumber, absolutely laser focused on the job in hand.
Very intimidating. So just a scary, scary man behind the wheel.
He certainly is. But Pascoti, the lower qualifier, asked to chase by Lauri Heinonen. Heinonen wants to keep it to the usual format as he screams off the line. That NASCAR Pro Charge V8 180SX puts it to the outside zone and stands in the pole. Starts to drive away from Kevin Pascoti. Pascoti going to try and use everything he can, his toolbox, to make a kill on the side of that car. But he makes a mistake on that transition and allows Lauri Heinonen to get into outside zone 4 nice and early as he now fires back. Pascoti makes a mistake again. Heinonen deep onto the wall as he looks for the final outside zone. Pascoti onto the back bumper.
Yeah, for Pascoti, the way that he was transitioning would work against a lot of drivers because he's setting that angle quite well. The difference is with Lauri Heinonen, when he transitions, he is picking up speed. And for a lot of drivers, they'll transition and slow down, maybe check up or settle the car out a little bit. That does not happen with Lauri. Every time that car swings around, he's back on throttle and he's shooting out. So it's the only part of that I'm seeing here. Just you gotta kind of adapt what you do to the driver that you're fighting. Just Lauri's just so quick. Backs into outside zone 4, gets back on throttle here. And yeah, just a tough go from Pascoti, who kind of went through the Tunica Via training camp to get to this point. And I know his lead run is going to be absolutely incredible. We'll see what he's able to shake off here. But yeah, Lauri Heinonen just so incredibly fast through this run, and that little bit of a dive there to try and gain that proximity before the final zone. So we'll see as we swap around, will Pascoti pull something out of his pocket, and will Lauri Heinonen be able to hang?
Well, will Lauri Heinonen have the tyre?
That's the next part.
Which is what a lot of guys are talking about. Whether this is the right decision to lead or chase first, we're going to find out. As now Kevin Pascoti comes through the gears and up to initiation as Lauri Heinonen looks for the back bumper of that E92 BMW V8 supercharged underneath the bonnet. And both cars, as they stand on the accelerator, Kevin Pascoti in a beautiful lead line, but that's opening the door for Lauri Heinonen as he makes a brave dive into outside zone 4. Look at this from Heinonen. He wants to seal the deal. He wants to get the job done. As Heinonen waits for the transition once again. Pascoti comes up a little short on outside zone 5, but goes deep on 6. And Heinonen is buried onto the side.
Yeah, it was a great fight there from Pascoti. I mean, he did what he needed to do on that battle. Just run his run, throw it all down, try to throw some big angle on it and try and shake off Lauri Heinonen. But very, very tough. You can see how quick Lauri's car is by how much he's having to adjust, how much he's having to slow down. Those brakes kind of flashing on and off, even though for Pascoti, you're not seeing those brakes. There's a pace that has been put into Pascoti's car, which is really good, and it's really comfortable for him, and it makes for this very flowy lead run, and it looks great. I mean, matching purple, too.
Yeah.
Great. But the hard part with that is you can only go so fast, because that is what the car is set up for. Look at Lauri.
I swear Lauri Heinonen could have leant out the window and give him a tap on the shoulder to say, it's okay, buddy.
It's crazy how much of a transition he's got, because outside of the car, look at him. Look at a fine young gentleman. Inside the car, he's ready to mug you. It's a completely different human being.
Well, there we go. Slide him left for Kevin Pascoti, right for Lauri Heinonen. It's going to be one vote. It's going to be Lauri Heinonen getting the win, advancing through to the top 8. And we lose the Hungarian Kevin Pascoti, but he won't be too unfazed. He'll be happy with that decision because he knows he's just been taken down to a man who won the championship last year.
Yeah, if you're going to go out to a driver, it's got to be somebody, you don't feel as bad when it's an ex-champion or somebody who went on to podium on the event.
Exactly. There we go. Back on the line we go. It's going to be Jack Shanahan's take on Espen Road. Jack Shanahan pulls into the lead position. So Jack Shanahan, the higher qualifier, third last night, was 65.5. Sits on the line, 950 horsepower Toyota GT86. Espen Road sits on the line, that BMW E46 M50 Turbo. Shanahan got that little nod on the go this year. Starting to get that, like, yeah, I'm in the zone, I'm vibing. Yeah, I'm chilling. Deep breaths.
Yeah, the meditation course that he just put out has been incredible. You and I took took it earlier. Yeah.
I didn't.
Oh, it wasn't you?
No,
I was
wasn't.
meditating next to another British
Fine young
buddy.
British
Yes,
gentleman.
yeah.
Well, there we go. Look at this, and this is the other side. You have Jack Shanahan with the deep breathing, and then the pure frustration, the slapping of the helmet, the punch of the steering wheel of Espen Road. They slam the cars into gear. They get the green light. Shanahan leaves the line and looks down the barrel as he fires that car into initiation. Espen Road lost a little bit on the initiation, has to sacrifice the outside zone. Shanahan deep. Look at the line from Jack Shanahan. It's absolutely beautiful as Espen Road goes for a dive onto the back bumper of the GTA 6 into outside zone 4. As Espen Road now looks for the front wheel. Can he find it? He can't, but he makes a dive through the smoke and he mistimes it ever so slightly. Shanahan opens the throttle once again. Espen Road goes for the front wheel and across the line.
Wow, Jack Shanahan. I mean, the best and worst part about that run is how aggressive it was, because now I am worried about those tires. There was a fair bit of left foot braking in there.
Yeah.
There was a ton of wheel speed in that run and a lot of rev limiters. So we saw, you know, he barely made it through runs earlier on.
I'm going to say something.
Okay.
Espen Road, where he was misplaced on some of the transitions at the time and he wasn't on the qualifying line, he's having to use more throttle input to keep up with Jack Shanahan than he would normally have to if he was on the right line.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
That's just my take on it.
No, I see exactly
Do you see where,
Yeah, and for Espen Rhodes, I mean, he does clean things up as this run went together. It's got to be very intimidating going up against a driver like that. The upside is, you know, they're going to be all out, they're going to throw down, it's going to be fast, but that can also get in your head just a little bit. But Espen Rhodes, I mean, a very young driver on the grid, one of the youngest we've got here, and he's doing such an incredible job of going up against these giants. So we'll see as they swap it around. There it is.
Cooling the tires.
Cooling the tires off. I mean, I don't know if they get the water sprayer on that as well and just do everything they possibly can, but that is obviously a concern for Jack Shanahan. I would have thought maybe he would have chased first and just, you know, saved a little bit. You often will use a little bit less tire in the chase, and man,
I don't know. I think that's I think it's the opposite.
Really, you think he used more
I think
tire
he
in the
used
chase?
more tire in the chase because if you're trying to catch up constantly,
Okay.
you have the momentum in the lead where you can kind of throw the car where you need to be, and then you can stick to that qualifying line. You use the momentum more as well as the throttle input.
I would rather run out of tire, though, in the lead than in the chase, because at least in the lead, that other driver has to adapt to you. If you're starting to slow down and lose that, it's a little bit more controllable than if you're in the chase and you run out of tire two zones left.
It's a game of chess.
It is.
It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Well, here we go. We're back on the line. Espen Road from Norway sits on the line. 1,000 horsepower BMW E46 to lead out Jack Shanahan in that Toyota GT86. We get the green light. Shanahan will start to creep, and there we go. Both cars pop up into gear and through the gears. They come down for initiation. Shanahan left, though, in a cloud of smoke as Espen Road sticks it to the wall. Shanahan now desperately trying to play catch-up, and he does as he finds the door of Espen Road in outside zone 3. They fire through the smoke, fire towards the wall. Espen Road with a brave lead line, but it opens the door for Jack Shanahan as Shanahan squeezes and works his way into the gap as he now puts the GTA6 right where it needs to be, onto the door, onto the front wheel, across the line.
Well, we might have been worried about tires, but Jack Shanahan sure was
They
not.
were not worried about tires, let me tell you that.
Now, how dare we question the Shanahan car setup, because he's got that thing absolutely dialed. Did get a bit of a gap pulled on him here, though. That is very, very uncommon, but Jack closes it so quick as Espen, I mean, used a fair bit of decel from 1 to 2, and Jack uses that opportunity to absolutely close up the gap as we get this beautiful overhead drone shot. I mean, this is us over top of Mosquito, one of the giant machines here at Ferropolis, and it really shows you what this line looks like and how the drivers are able to get through. To me, this is one of the best views in drifting because you cannot hide anything with this top down. Oh man, both drivers are stoked though. Look at it, Espen. I mean, that is. You know what? We need
a cool-down room.
We do.
We need a cool-down room where we can stick these guys after an event and let them just talk between themselves.
I'd love to just put a mic there. You and I stop talking. We just listen.
Maybe some of them.
With a delay and a beeper.
Yeah, for sure. There we go, both out of the car waiting to get the decision from our judges. We apologise for any bad language you might hear from our drivers. Very excited. They're in the moment at the moment, so we apologise for anything you may hear. We wait for that decision to drop in as our judges seem to be putting their score, and smoke still lingering around the machinery here in Ferropolis as the lights fully illuminate the circuit. Still absolutely packed out, full capacity here in Ferropolis. I think for the first ever time.
This is nuts. I had heard,
Well, here we go, slide them left for Espen Road, right for Jack Shanahan. It's going to be Jack Shanahan getting the win, advancing through, keeping that championship hope alive. Can he get into the top 3? Can he Get it done.
Yeah, this
Jack
was,
Shanahan. Go
go
Jack
ahead.
Shanahan, I'm being told, won through his lead run.
Wow.
Wow.
That makes sense. It was very solid, and I mean Espins was it was quite good, but that was the difference maker.
It certainly was. Well, here we go. The final battle in our top 16. Sorry, it's going to be Mika Keskikorpi to take on Nasser Al Habali from the UAE. Now residing in Dubai, moving from El Salvador. Mika Keskikorpi from Finland in that BMW 2 Series, 900 horsepower. Keskikorpi, yesterday we commented on how well he was laying down those lead lines and said how relaxed he looked after taking multiple dips in the lake over the weekend, and we spoke about his glorious hair.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I got to check it out.
You have a hair
as well.
envy, I think I've worked it out.
Listen, I mean, contrary to popular belief, there is hair.
I think you should grow it out for 2026.
You think so?
Yeah, grow it out for 2026. Come back with Mika Keskikorpi. There we go. We're calling it that off the line. They are gone though. It's Keskikorpi to lead out Nasser Al Habali as they slam through the gears. Al Habali very, very early, almost off the track as they fire through. Now Habali goes for it, goes for the door of that BMW 2 Series. As Mika Keskikorpi looks for outside zone 3, looks for the nice transition back on outside zone 4, and it's a beautiful line once again from the young Finnish driver as he puts the car right where the judges wanted it to be. What can Habali do though as he goes for the front wheel? Tanks Mika Keskikorpi, but Korpi unfazed and Habali the only one to fall in that contact.
Oh, Mika is just getting beat up on the track this evening. Oh man. I feel bad for his mechanics now having to maybe go back and put another back spray. He's going to run out of tubes at this point. Drivers keep going into the side of it, but yeah, Mika Keskikorpi right off the bat. But yeah, Nasser just very quick. I mean, he initiated so early, and look at him closing up the gap, coming at a 1, then has to back off just a little bit. Keskikorpi very smooth with his speed between 1 and 2, and for Nasser, maybe expecting him to go just a little bit quicker through that section, but very, very aggressive in the chase, kind of diving in and hoping that Mika's going to kind of really crank through, but does not happen. Keskikorpi, I mean, that is a spot in which the momentum can change, so it will come down to where exactly did it happen, and those cones, once again, that is a tough one. It's right in the shadows too, and that makes it even more difficult to see there. So,
well, I'm hearing it over my headset. It is the fault of Nasser Al Habali. Mika Keskikorpi in position, and I was going to say I wasn't going to call you out because we're buddies. We're good friends.
Listen, I was waiting for the
call
judges.
you out.
Every time I say something definitive, the judges tell me I'm wrong.
They tell you you're wrong, which is fine. I had it for years. I still get it now after the event normally.
Still learning.
Mika Keskikorpi for me was on a very fluid line. He was on throttle in that zone, and he fulfilled that zone. And I think for me, Nasser Al Habali just came in, all guns blazing, fired that car in where he needed to be, but unfortunately, a little bit of rush of blood to the head and caught himself up, and you can see, you're looking at the Wally system, he did come in with quite a lot of speed there.
Yeah, his acceleration was 8 meters per second, which is quite quick.
Well, he's going to have to do 8 meters per second and more right now as he comes off the line to lead out Mika Keskikorpi as they flick through to initiation. Look down with the foot brake there for Keskikorpi, flames of the back end of the cars as they put it where they need to be, and Keskikorpi holds back ever so slightly, maybe thinking that he has an advantage in this battle. The fire through the smoke as Nasser Al Habali goes for the wall. He needs to lay down an absolute heater of a lead run, but now Mika Keskikorpi hunts down the Dubai driver as he hammers it into the wall, puts the car right over the edge of the wall, over the white line, and across the line.
Well, great run from both drivers. The strategy that kind of goes into this, every driver knows it now. When you make that mistake, you've got to throw down something absolutely a complete heater. And for Nasser, that's what he did. He's been so aggressive all the way through this weekend. Unfortunately, it did catch him out when he was in the chase. But in the lead, he gets to stretch those legs, put down all that power, and show exactly what he's able to do. Mika Keskikorpi holds back just a bit. Has still a very aggressive chase by a lot of standards, but not that full definitive on your door all the way through.
Yeah, I think he reined it back the 5%. Do you know what I think that what is good about Mika Keskikorpi is he has that self-control, like some of the greats that we've seen before, to just hang back.
Yeah, he shows a lot of signs of being one of the next top 5 drivers.
Without shadow of a doubt. When this young man turned up to Drift Masters a few years ago, he was a very nervous young man with decisions in, left for Habali, right for Keskikorpi. It's Mika Keskikorpi getting the win and advancing through. And look what it means to Mika Keskikorpi from Finland. He gets in to the top 8 and he'll be absolutely over the moon. His team will be ecstatic, and look, he's so happy. Yeah, so happy.
I get it. I mean, I talked to him a little bit earlier on, and he said, I've got everything. I've got the car. I've got all the skills and the ability. I just needed a little bit of luck. And he's starting to find a little bit of that. But, I mean, I wouldn't even call it luck. This is now a driver who's showing it all off.
I got to point something out. See, they're pointing to a pink sticker on that flag? That is the voice of Finnish drifting, I've been told, Shanahan. There we go. Here's the heat tree and how it looks right now and what we're going to look forward to in our top 8. It's going to be Shanahan versus Zakaril. Korpelinski versus Kevin Passert. That one's going to be an absolute heater. It's going to be Pieter Winesek to take on Laurie Heinonen. Are you crazy? And Jack Shanahan, Mika Keskikorpi. They are final battles in a top 8.
Yeah, every single one truly is a finals battle here. And once again, getting back to that championship thing for Piotr, this is very worrisome. Lauri Heinonen, who the car is running great. Everything is just playing into his hands right now. Piotr's been driving incredibly well, but the wildness of Lauri could be his end to this run tonight.
And the thing with Laurie Heinonen is he's another driver that can turn it up when he needs to.
Yeah.
We've seen him do it in the past. He can rein back that 10-15%. That's what makes a champion. When they can rein it back 10-15%, but then they can also turn it up 50 to 100%. When they need to do it, they'll do it. If they don't need to, they'll wait. They'll leave some in the bank.
Yeah, there is a lot of strategy that's still here, and knowing how hard you need to push against your opponent, and that's going to be the tough thing with every one of these top 8 battles.
Well, there's no time for messing around. It's almost time to kick off the action once again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to kick off our top 8. We've already seen some incredible battles here in Germany under the lights, but things are going to get hotter once again. And I always talk about turning up the heat. It's been incredibly hot in Germany this weekend, and it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter because these battles now are getting more and more serious.
Yeah.
What is on the line for some of these drivers is more than just a win. It's a championship when we head to Poland in a few weeks' time. And for Conor Shanahan right now, he stares across the track, sitting alongside him, a man from the Czech Republic who has all of the fans with him in the grandstand chanting his name. Conor Shanahan will have all of Ireland pushing him along right now on the circuit. But for Marko Zakaril, it's a trophy that's been coming for years and years and years. Can he do it right now and take down a man that's had a championship, who's had the trophies, who's seen the success? Marko Zakaril would love nothing more than to make it into his first ever Final Four in Drift Masters in 2025. They're off and through the gears, and Zakaril's left in a cloud of smoke. And the car breaks down, he doesn't initiate, and Shanahan fires it in. And Marko Zakaril replicates what happened to him here many moons ago at Drift Masters, where the car failed at the highest point of the event.
Man, absolutely gutted for him. This is a worst nightmare come true for Marko Zakaril. Oh, tough. Hopefully, I'm hoping it's nothing major and he's able to at least get back to the line and you know, just try and battle back, because things still can happen. Mechanicals can still happen for any driver at this point, as we've just seen. So Conor Shanahan right out of the gate, and yeah, for Marko Zakaril, it just doesn't happen.
No, it goes for a big clutch kick on initiation. The car just does not react. Something breaks maybe, or the car just cuts power, a misshift potentially. Look at this, he goes for the clutch kick, tries it again, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing he can do.
Yeah, I mean, he still does drive around the track, but yeah, could be something broken in the drivetrain, and he's just able to at least limp it back off track. We'll find out here momentarily.
Oh, he's out of the car,
no.
and look at this. Zakaril out of the car is coming over, and Shanahan throws up his hands, and they embrace, and this will be absolute heartbreak. So it looks like he has lost a boost pipe on the car, and as you know, if you know Drift Masters now, no 5-minute rules, no time to fix that vehicle. So Marko Zakaril bows out of competition in top 8. That means that Conor Shanahan steps one closer to a podium spot this weekend.
Little, what do we say, the rub of the green?
It's the rub of the green, it's the luck of the Irish. You know,
Yeah.
Sometimes you need luck on your side, especially after what's been going on, after what happens.
Man, I'm absolutely gutted for Zakaril. I mean, that whatever clamp he's got right now, that is going in the bin immediately. That boost pipe is getting replaced immediately, but it happens. It happens.
It happens to a lot of people. Look, we spoke about it earlier. James Dean lost out top 32 to a €7 fan belt.
Yeah. It's very rarely the big parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the big part.
No, it's usually a little part that takes
I
out the
think
big
Wayne
part.
McKeever would say sometimes the big parts break more than the little parts.
I still think it's a little part that breaks inside the big part, but yeah, either way, fans still excited, still supporting their countrymen. You love to see it.
Yeah, they certainly are. Yeah, they're chanting on for Marko Zakaril. And look, the fan base will never die for Marko Zakaril, one of the best drifters to ever come out of the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
There we go, sat on the line. I'm looking across at David Kalas, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, just winding each other up here, just having some fun in the commentary judging booth. It's all good, it's all good love. Here we go, back on the line, Paweł Korpolinski from Poland looks across the track to a man from Estonia that's been on the podium this year, Kevin Purser. And Purser, as we said, sitting fifth in the championship, would love to claw himself back up into the mix, especially with Dean out of the order now. Would love to get third or second in the championship as we head to the PGA Narodowe in Poland in just a few weeks' time for the final, the Drift Masters Red Bull final, where we have it all going on. Big smiles and a wave from Paweł Korpolinski as he slams that car into gear. He gets the green light, and we are good to go for our second top 8 battle as Korpolinski flicks that car in. Kevin Purser doesn't initiate straight away, waits for Korpolinski to get it done. Now stands on the throttle as Korpolinski, the surgeon, puts that car where it needs to be. So clinical. Oh, contact! Wow, big contact! And the front bumper wedged underneath the front of Kevin Purser's car, made him stall up, completely disposed of the headlights in the front bumper as Kevin Purser now tries to get himself back into the mix. They get it across the line, but we need to see exactly what happened there.
Yeah, that was definitely crazy, and the repercussions of that, of the bumper coming off, headlights everywhere, completely littered the track there with parts from Kevin Purser, who looks very, very aggressive once again. But Korpolinski, I mean, the surgeon, 100%. That's the nickname that's got to stick, because it is just, it's incredible. He's so steady.
FYI, I said it first.
Yeah, you got it. I will give that to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, right here. So was it that transition?
Look, where was Purser? Look where Purser is. I think it was Purser.
Yeah,
we see this with Correa and Keski Corby earlier.
Yeah, it's
Impede in the lead car.
It's a driver in the chase who knows that the lead driver is incredible and wants to make sure that every transition is as tight to that driver as possible. And yeah, I wonder if Korpolinski, he's like frustrating guys with how good he is. You know his line's going to be good, and you can trust him, so you try to inch it just that bit further. You take a bit more of a risk because you're like, he's so good.
You can, yeah.
Yeah, you're allowed to, but that risk is, I mean, there's no reward on the side of that, so pretty tough. I mean, judges are definitely taking a look at these replays. They're checking multiple camera angles on it, going through. I mean, you can see him flipping through, checking everything to see if they can tell if there was any sort of decel that was going on.
Oh, I just think
you caught something. You caught the same thing I did.
Yeah, we won't say.
Yeah,
we won't say. Look, we've still got one half of the battle to go. Our start line Marshall Martin down there, just taking a look in the front end of Kevin Purser's car. And there are a lot of coolers in the front of these cars. So some have radiators, most have intercoolers and oil coolers and power steering coolers and everything going on in the front of their charge coolers for different setups. And look at this, the air filter has fell off of Kevin Purser's car. I don't know if Martin's going to try and refix it, or if he's just going to leave it off. I don't know if Kevin Purser will want to run without the air filter. That is the problem. Yeah,
that's a good call. That is not something that, I mean, hey, you pull one thing into that turbo, it's going to be a big, big problem. You can see here, multi-tool coming out.
Yeah, he's got the multi-tool out, that's for sure. And Martin down there on the start line.
I think I'm going to start riding to the track with Martin, because if our rental ever breaks down, I know he's going to be able to get it back up and running.
Yeah. Yeah, he's, I told you, he's a handyman.
Very handy. So judges, once again, still taking a look at everything. And,
well, they're having a look, and they've just confirmed over the headset to me that Kevin Purser is at fault for the contact. Now, we have to deem someone at fault for the contact. And so the judges are saying to me some more information, but I'll tell you what, we'll talk to David Kalas after the battle, because who knows what's going to happen in the second half.
Yeah.
We always go, oh, this happened, and stuff's going to happen, and then more things happen, and...
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll get into it.
So if you need an air filter change on your car, give Martin a call. Yeah. Handy fella, come over from Poland, do a quick service on your car on the driveway, no problem.
In and out in a jiff.
Martin's Auto Service.
There it is.
That's what we're going to call it.
Yeah, and he'll wear the collared shirt.
And will he? Mm. He'll come to my house.
It's a surcharge, but
the collared shirt, and I'll call it pants, because, you know.
Yeah, trousers is fine. That's trousers. Fine. I'm learning.
Are you learning?
Yeah, new languages every day.
Well, there we go. Looks like we are ready to rock and roll. Martin doing some slight repairs. We wait for that green light to pop off, and there we go. It's going to be Kevin Purser to lead out Paweł Korpolinski for a spot in the final four. Awaits for one of these guys. Who's it going to be? Korpolinski fires down. Purser on a nice lead line as he puts that car where it needs to be. It looks like he came up very shallow on outside zone 2, though. Transitions back through now into 4, and he struggles to get to outside zone 4. Kevin Purser looks a little shook here as the surgeon goes for the kill across the nut track as he puts the car Passeur squeezes the pole, tries to drive away from Korpelinski.
Oh, yeah, Kevin Passeur, I mean, he was driving like he was at fault. He's not taking any risks on this run. He's just going at it.
It certainly is, but it's messy.
It is messy.
Watch the run. I'll let you call the run back.
Yeah, no, you 100%. You beat me to it because it's a run of a driver that seems to be panicking a little bit. I do really like the way that he gets through outside zone 1, though. He's like kind of just through the e-brake, got it completely sideways, but has to park it on the left foot brake to get through the rest of the zone. And Korpelinski does a great job of anticipating everything that's going on. We can see Kevin Passeur touches left foot brake, and then Korpelinski, right, same thing right afterwards. So he does such a great job of reading what's going on in the lead and completely mirroring that. But yeah, to me, Kevin Passeur's run, it was not incredible. Maybe there's a bit more damage. Maybe it's just, he's freaking out a little bit. It's tough. You get into that incident, you immediately think you're at fault.
Well, his car Pac-Man the whole front end of his and Pavel Korpelinski's car.
Yeah. It's a tough spot to be in, that's for sure. He does have a couple of great zones here near the end. The first zone was incredible. The initiation was nuts, but I do think he went a little bit too hard into 1 and then kind of had to make some corrections for 2, 3, and a little bit of 4, but yeah.
Well, there we go, slalom left for Kevin Passeur, right for Pavel Korpelinski, and he's going to be unanimous for Pavel Korpelinski, and he says, wow, I think he thought that he was at fault. We're going to throw it over to head judge David Kalas. David, just talk us through that one.
Yeah, on the live stream, you probably saw that there were lights of Pavel Korpelinski on during the hit, but don't forget that the hit starts way earlier than when the cars are aligned. So in the moment where both cars are getting into the contact, there is no braking, no deceleration from Pavel Korpelinski. Also did not over-rotate it before the transition. So that means that he did not done anything wrong at that place. And that's why we deemed at fault Kevin Passeur. And basically that point decided then overall battle, because Kevin then was not able to get behind Pavel, and it was decided basically at that spot.
Thank you very much, David. And yeah, the Polish fans are happy, that's for sure. The Estonian ones, not so much.
Yeah, these things happen so fast on track, but yeah, you catch that contact and then...
These guys are still happy?
Oh yeah, for sure. They're just happy to be here at this point.
Who isn't?
Yeah, I don't know. They would have already left. If they're not happy to be here, I'm sure you've already caught the bus home.
Well, there we go. Talking to Marco Zaccaril, Becky's down there with Marco Zaccaril. He's out of competition. It was heartbreak, but he's still got a big smile on his face and a big fan base.
Guys, I've just been warming my hands out here on Marco Zaccaril's manifold. Marco, can you tell us what happened there? You're taking a quick look over the engine. Do you know what it is right now?
Yeah, right, I know what it is. It looks like a boost pipe or a wastegate failure, so I completely lost the boost, so I don't have any power to make the battle with the Connor.
I mean, it looked like you were going so fast in there. You were all souped up, ready to go for that battle.
Yeah, I were looking forward. We were very hyped for that battle. Car works amazing all event. We were very fast and very stable around, so we're looking for the podium. And yeah, we are boosted for Warsaw for last round.
Well, gutted for you, but look at all these fans that you have out here in the grandstand. We can see the flags, we can hear them chanting. Is there anything that you would like to say to your fans that have been supporting you so well this weekend?
Yeah, I would like to say thank you very much to all of my fans, because they were very amazing. It's the first time I felt something like that, so I'm very happy. Thanks for it. Děkuju moc!
Fantastic, Marco, and we'll see you at the last round.
Thank you very much, Becky. And yeah, Marco Zaccaril saying thank you to his fans, and an incredible amount of fans down there. Well, here we go, a big battle on the line. Man is already in the show. In the final four is Conor Shanahan. He's keeping that championship alive. Now, Piotr Więcek has to do the same thing, but he sits alongside the 2024 defending champion, who is now out of the championship race. What can Laurie Heinonen do as Piotr Więcek sits in that car, laser focused with the goggles on?
Yep.
Not taking them off.
Nope.
Could that be the key this weekend? Well, here we go. He waits for that green light to pop up on the start line, and he bursts through the laser and through the gears comes Piotr Więcek to lead in. Laurie Heinonen sparks are up once again. The Heinonen not letting Więcek get away as they fire into outside zone 2. Look at this, a big clutch kick from Laurie Heinonen. He knows that Więcek's fast as he fires back again onto the rear bumper. A little check up there from Laurie Heinonen. He thought he was going to make contact with Więcek as they go once again for a big transition. Laurie Heinonen looking for the door, and and he finds it, and they get to the final outside zone glued together.
It's what we were hoping for. It's exactly what we were hoping for. Piotr Vincek out front, running his run, running that incredible lead line again. I mean, this is... He's so precise now. I don't even know if he's driving at this point or he's just autopilot the whole way through. Look at that initiation. And then for Lowry, he's in there. I honestly thought this was going to be one of those bin it kind of runs. I thought Lowry was just going to go right into the side of the door, completely cave the whole thing in and just push. But a little bit more reserved. And to see Lowry having to clutch kick and really try to keep up with Piotr just definitively shows how fast Vincek is throughout this entire run. That is crazy that Lowry's doing that, because he's known as one of the quickest drivers across these tracks. And yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting as they swap this around. And now we're seeing the leaf blower in there. Piotr's car, I mean, it's still warm out there. These cars are running really, really hard.
Yeah, they certainly are, and both cars getting a little cool down from our start line marshals, and the team in the background down there have done a sterling job all weekend, as all our track staff and members of Driftmasters have been in the heat and working these long days. Both the cars slamming to gear. Laurie Heinen now the finish driver to lead out Piotr Vincek as they come through the gears. Vincek knows that Heinen's fast. They both flick to angle and down into outside zone 1 onto the wall goes Heinen. He on the throttle nice and early. Vincek though got the grip in the car, got the car turned up to 100 as he waits for the transition. It's perfect from Vincek as Laurie Heinen leads him into outside zone 4. There's no shaking the Polishman. He's on a hunt this weekend and he fires it into the wall. Laurie Heinen is going for it. There's nothing left on the table as Vincek pushes him across the line.
What is going to stop Piotr Vincek this weekend? I have no idea at this point.
I don't think there's no stopping him. I don't think there's any stopping Piotr this weekend.
It is so consistent, run after run, lead, chase, doesn't matter. Everything is just perfect the way that he's getting through these runs. I thought maybe Lauri Heinonen was going to pull something out that could potentially shake Piotr off, but it doesn't happen throughout this whole thing. Lauri lays down another completely solid and amazing and epic lead run, and Piotr just right in there, in the pocket, every single move, the same transitions. He noses the car and he swings the tail back around, and then he's there. Look at nose in, tail back around, and he's completely locked in for the rest of the run. He is so calculated now. He's so precise in both the lead and the chase. This is just scary driving. It's incredible.
It's unbelievable. Look at that, the grin on his face says it all. He's happy with the work done, and so's Laurie Heinen, and he says, I think I did everything I could right there. These two guys, unbelievable driving. Both of them waiting for the decision to drop in. It's going to be tough. The judge is still looking at the replay, still not made a decision. This one could be very, very close. It's going to come down to some fine margins, Jacob, that's for sure.
Yeah, Piotr actually even saying there, might come down to that one more time. So he's got a little bit concerned as well. I mean, it's just a nuts battle. I would be totally fine with one more time. I'm just going to put that out there. Not that the judges really listen to me, but another set of battles I'd like to see over and over and over again. Judges still taking a look. It's a class. Really, this is what the judges are looking at right now. So what you can see are the replays.
I think I see something, but I didn't really want to call it at the time.
What do you see?
I think that Peter came up short here. He did.
And I mean,
I'm saying he came up short. We're talking like
what? You
a foot.
Yeah. Oh, well, I thought you were going to go metric on me. That's fine. Yeah, it's not a lot. But if you look at Lowry's lead run, does he come up short anywhere?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If anything, Laurie's a little deep.
Yeah, I mean, he's on the wall. He is kissing every single spot. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. Good call. Good call, man.
I see it, and I don't know. I honestly look. Peter shakes Laurie's hand.
Well, they're checking the replay too. They're watching in. They want to know what's happening.
Yeah, they said I don't want to decide.
Yeah. Oh man.
I don't think anyone would want to judge this because this is so tough. Here we go. Decisions in though. Side him left for Wojciech. Side him left for Heinen. It's one vote for Peter. It's going to be Piotr Vincek getting the win and advancing through to the final four.
Wow. I mean, so well deserved. But for Lowry, that was such an epic lead run. Possibly the best one we've seen.
Yeah, unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Well, our queen down there in the paddock, our queen behind the scenes, Becky Evans, is with both of the drivers. What an insane battle, Becky.
Absolutely, guys. Peter, we saw you watch the replay there, and you were watching it very, very closely. What was running through your mind just then? It wasn't sure.
Yeah, I was definitely not the happiest man about my lead run. It could be better in a couple of places. So I knew that judges are very particular about here, and yeah, I was just hoping, to be honest, for one more time. When I saw the verdict, I was like pleasantly surprised, but it's, you know, I'm happy. I'm very happy, especially here. You know, once you guess where those zones are in those darkness, in this darkness, it's really satisfying. But yeah, we want to keep the car in one piece. It was a great chasing glory, to be honest. We just have fun that for the first time, finally, we could properly have a battle, because we had a battle in the final in Ireland, but back then he lost the power steering and there was no chase in my case. So yeah, I'm super happy, and yeah, I hope I will be able to provide a good show.
Congratulations, Peter. Larry, we're going to catch you for a second here, because that was an incredible battle. We saw you guys both getting out of the car and smiling. How was that for you?
Yeah, that was fun. I said to Peter, finally a fast car like leading me. Yeah, a little bit too fast.
We're absolutely delighted to see you again, and we'll see you in round 7.
Thank you.
Back to you.
Thank you very much, Becky. And yeah, finally a fast car. Is Laurie Hyndman out there throwing shade on all the other drivers?
I think unintentionally.
You think he threw a little shade?
A little bit.
Look at what it meant to Peter. And as we say, these guys, they'll smile, they'll be happy if they lose to someone who was the better driver. Look, I'm not going to make any assumptions right now, but I'm going to tell you something. If this goes the way I think it might go, historically,
Yeah.
we're going to end up with 4 drivers that have all been on the podium here before.
Yeah, it could go that way, and the championship race is coming down now. This is getting crazy.
It certainly is. Well, we're back on the line. It's going to be Jack Shanahan to lead out Mika Keskikorpi. Jack, the higher qualifier, sticking with what he knows. He knows that he likes to lead first, and Shanahan sits on the line and he waits for that green light as Mika Keskikorpi starts to creep. The Finnish driver wants to get this job done as he slams through the gears and flicks that car to initiation already. Shanahan down into outside zone 1, a little shallow, but Mika Keskikorpi checks himself up and has to get back into it. But Shanahan goes nice and wide into outside zone 3, goes for the transition back, flicks it to angle. Mika Keskikorpi on the inside, shallowing up the angle, trying to hang with the pace from Jack Shanahan as Keskikorpi now once again lost in the smoke, goes for the dive, goes for the side of that GT86 as Keskikorpi gets there across the line.
Oh man, this is already shaping up to be one of the best battles that we're going to see tonight. Jack Shanahan is on pace, but a little bit shallow, as you said. Now we're at the point where if you are not touching the wall on every single zone, that could mean the difference between winning and losing. That is where we are at now at Drift Masters at this stadium. This is crazy. Mika Keskikorpi doing such a great job. Smooth, consistent, doesn't lose his head at any point in time. I mean, Jack is so fast throughout this whole thing, but I really like the way that Mika Keskikorpi keeps a really good line, pulls out just a touch of angle. It's actually kind of a James Dean-esque, like, you know, 2018, 2019, that style that he had where he pulled that bit of angle and then really nosed the car in all the way through. So to me, that was such a great run for Mika Keskikorpi. And once again, Jack Shanahan now has got the coolers on the tires, and we'll see how that all plays out for him.
And there we go, cooling down the tyres, cooling down the wheels once again, trying to get that heat out of the back end of that GT86 as Shanahan not bothered about being cooled down himself. He's ready for it.
Yeah.
And he looks across at the clock and you can see in the background 1 minute and 6 seconds to go before he has to get to the line. He puts that car into gear, puts a thumbs up all around to his crew and says, yep, no, we're ready to go.
I love it. So don't worry about me, just save the car.
Yeah, just keep the tyres cool. That's all that's all he cares about.
Yeah.
Is making sure he has the tyre to get the battle done so that he can get the win. So there we go. Shanahan on the line, Mika Keskikorpi to lead them in. They get the thumbs up all around, both cars slam into gear. And we wait for that green light as Keskikorpi now leads out. Jack Shanahan through the gears, down into initiation. Big flick from both guys. They stand on the throttle. Shanahan puts more angle at it to slow the car down as he now glues it to the side. And Mika Keskikorpi with Shanahan on the foot brake, has to slow the car down now, loses some ground from Mika Keskikorpi as Keskikorpi goes for that full throttle transition into outside zone 4. Put flat to the floor for Keskikorpi as he flicks it towards outside zone 5. But now the Irishman is with him. He's onto the door as Keskikorpi goes for the final outside zone. Shanahan is right with him.
Yeah, Mika Keskikorpi, I mean, he's just running his race. He's not really worried about anybody else. He's just, I know how I want to run this track. I know the pace I want to put into it, and he just keeps doing it. Now, the nice thing is he is getting quicker and quicker as the night goes on as well. He is getting a bit more aggressive all the way through as we take a look at that drone shot. I think that initiation line might start coming into a bit more play here with a few of these runs. And there's Jack Shanahan as we start to come through our zones. I believe we're at outside zone 3, and then we transition into 4. Mika Keskikorpi, just a quick correction there late before he gets into 4, but I think it was still in that momentum zone. You can see here the flames popping off in the background while Jack Shanahan fights through the smoke with the BMW to try and get into the side of Keski Korpi. And our transition into 5 looks so good, so smooth. He lines it up nice and early. He gets the transition done really quick, and then gets that car settled, touches that wall. But Jack Shanahan all over him all the way through. So this is such a great run from both of these drivers. I'm loving the way that they're battling each other. So, man.
There you go. Mika Keski Korpi happy, so is Jack Shanahan. But who's going to be happy in the top 4? Slide him left for Keski Korpi, right for Shanahan. It's going to be Jack Shanahan getting the win, advancing through to the final 4. And my prediction historically was correct. That means that the final 4 drivers have all been on the podium here in Germany before. And you want to know something else? All 4 drivers were in the qualifying showdown last night.
Wow.
Becky's down there with Jack. Jack is having a flyer this weekend.
Yes, Jack has got a big smile on his face, a sigh of relief. You are heading into the top 4, Jack. Can you tell us what was going on in your head as you left the start line?
To be honest, that run I was just trying to do much the same, just trying to keep that lead line as consistent as possible. I think I'm pulling that off fairly well. I'm just being as smooth as I can. I'm not trying to pull away or anything. I'm just trying to do my job because I know we've got those more points for the lead line basically. So I'm trying to do a Conor Shanahan. I think try to be cool, calm and collected. And I seem to be pulling it off. The lead run feels very, very good. The chase can still improve, but I think we've got Peter Wientek next, and I'm going to put a stop to his championship regime. I think I'm just going to blow the doors off him and hope for the best.
Well, let's talk about the championship. Obviously sitting in 4th at the moment. The championship is still alive for you. It's still capable.
Maybe a first place, not so much. It depends on if we get the win here tonight or not. But I'm not really focusing on that right now. I just want to get on the podium for the first time this season, and I'm not going to stop until I am.
Absolutely, Jack. Wise words. We'll see you in the top 4.
Thank you very much, Becky. And, well, he's going to blow the doors of Peter Wientek.
We're getting some smack talk going on here.
Getting some smack talk going on. Jack Shanahan wants a taste of the champagne. He hasn't been on the podium in 2025. It's been a rough season for him. He's now back into it. Here we go. This is how it looks. Conor Shanahan will take on Pavel Korpelinski. Piotr Wientek will take on Jack Shanahan for a spot in the final awaits for one of those drivers, Jacob. It is getting heated. How have we ended up? I'll tell you how we ended up with this. Because those 4 drivers who qualified in the top 4 are the best drivers this weekend.
Period. No questions asked. Definitively. Yeah, that's exactly it. It's nuts. And the crazy thing, too, is these are the 4 drivers now who are in the championship race. It is dialed down. Piotr Wientek, Conor Shanahan, Jack Shanahan, and yeah, Pavel Korpelinski are the only 4 drivers mathematically that could win the championship if you want to make this Final 4 any more epic.
So you're telling me that James Dean now mathematically is out of the championship race?
Who would have ever thought that? That's such a weird thing to say ever. James Dean, yes, officially out of the 2025 Drift Masters Championship race.
Wow.
Stared you right in the eye on that one.
So the 4 guys that we're going to see coming up in a few moments' time, one of those will be the 2025 Drift Masters champion.
You got it. You got it.
2 chances to take it to Poland, 2 chances to take it to Ireland. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get this steamboat going. It's time for our final 4. Well, it can only be Ireland and it can only be Poland that win the championship now. And it all comes down to which one of those Polish drivers, which one of those Irish drivers will be crowned the 2025 Drift Masters champion. It won't be decided this weekend here in Germany. It will be decided at the PGA Narodowe in Poland in a few weeks' time at the Drift Masters Red Bull final. But the championship points to get there will help every step of the way. These guys are now fighting tooth and nail for every single point on the board, and for every single driver this matters more than ever, because that news will be reported back to them every time they speak to the crew, every time they look at the broadcast, that now is the time to make it happen. Jack Shanahan will take on Piotr Wientek. Conor Shanahan sits on the line to lead out Pavel Korpelinski, the surgeon. The shadow versus the surgeon sit on the line, and it's going to be Shanahan to leave the line from the green light. They slam through the gears and they flick it to angle as they both fire down, and they flick it to angle once again, and Shanahan goes nice onto the wall. A little check up there from Pavel Korpelinski as he squeezes his S14 into the pocket of Conor Shanahan's GT86. They flow into outside zone 4. Neither guy wanting to give up as Korpelinski pushes once again and bursts through the smoke as he looks for the front wheel of that GT86. They go to the edge of the circuit and to the wall and across the line.
Here we go. This is it. This is the beginning of the end for all of these drivers. Every single battle, every corner, initiation, handbrake pull, all of it will be definitive in what happens to their season, how they will be written in the history books. This is the beginning of that. Connor Shanahan through that first outside zone looks completely solid, but the Surgeon does not back down at any point. Look at him, completely locked in through these transitions, does such a good job of timing it and doing something that Piotr Vincek is also doing. Getting that front end in first, getting the tail end of the car to get back around. That way, you're not over-committing at any point. You're not over-rotating. You can really line things up. You can still get that proximity without taking as much of a risk. And both drivers are on a beautiful display of why this sport is so incredible. An amazing lead run, an incredible chase run. Now they swap it around, and we'll see what plays out as these drivers now head back. Hopefully the temps are good. Hopefully the cars are good, so we can see just another amazing heads-up battle between these two absolute legends.
Yeah, look at that, a little confrontation there as they went into the tyre warming area. A little showdown, little stare-off, headlight to headlight. And judges going back over the run, and for me, I didn't really see anything in it.
No.
One little check-up from Pavel Korpolinski in outside zone 2. That was it.
Yeah, and I mean, for Connor, he was pretty close in all the zones, but he wasn't completely on the wall through all the zones. So those two things might be the difference.
And they're going to have to split hairs, the judges, as we move through this, as we get closer to the final. These guys are going to be pushed to their limit, both drivers and judges and all of the staff and the cars themselves. As Connor Shanahan sits on the line, you can see the sweat beading on his brow as not only the temperature in the car reaches maximum, but the pressure on his shoulders of winning another championship starts to amount. This man would love nothing more than to be crowned a two-time Drift Masters champion. Korpolinski would love nothing more than to be crowned a Drift Masters champion. As they sit on the line, Korpolinski gets the green light and it is go time as they slam through the gears. Shanahan laser focus, flicks that car and pulls the steering wheel towards the back end of that S14 as they fire into that first outside zone. The second one collected. Korpolinski's on an absolute flyer. The Shanahan can't be shaken as they fire through the smoke. Korpolinski goes for that perfect line into that outside zone. Korpolinski giving him all the opportunity to get close and personal onto the door. And Shanahan takes it through the smoke as he goes closer than Korpolinski as he rubs the wheel on the door across the line.
And this is the difference in their transitions. Pavel Korpolinski, very calculated. Connor Shanahan, just reckless, perfectly reckless though. It's nuts. I mean, when he dives in, the confidence that he's got that car is going to catch and the driver in front of him is not going to do something strange. And if you're going to pull something like that, Pavel Korpolinski is the perfect dance partner to do it with because he is going to have a solid lead run. Here it is, Connor Shanahan slowly starts hunting him down. You can see Pavel, he's got such an amazing steadiness in his angle. And then Connor gets that transition done so early into outside zone 4. Oh, another beautiful replay of that. And then as we come through this super long outside zone, this is where Connor loads up the car and makes that dive. You can tell he gets, I don't know what he's doing in the car to do it, but it's like a spring.
It was just there.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, I still don't understand how he's able to do it because he picks up speed and then as the other car comes around, he's just teleported to the door. It is truly incredible to do something like that, especially at these speeds, especially with this much grip, and at the end of the day when you're completely exhausted. That's the part we don't even get into. This is so difficult. This is physically and mentally demanding, and they're still putting on a performance like this.
Well, let me throw something else into the mix while we get involved in all how good they are as drivers. If Connor Shanahan stops Pavel Korpolinski going to the final, that means that Jack Shanahan and Connor Shanahan could both be leading the championship when we head into Poland. How about that? Think about that for a moment.
Oh my gosh.
Because if Jack stops Peter and Connor stops Pavel, that means that first and second could be Connor and Jack, and then third and fourth could be Peter and Pavel.
That's wild. Imagine what that ride home is like.
That head-to-head going into Poland, and then Jack and Connor have got to get that job done in front of 55,000 Polish fans.
Either way, there's going to be a handful of drivers battling this out.
Well, here we go. Decisions in. Slide it left for Shanahan, right for Korpolinski. And it's a split judging panel, but Shanahan gets the win and advances through to the final. And Shanahan looks stronger than ever this weekend. Could he take all three as he takes one step closer to victory here in Germany? David Kalas, quickly back to you. A split judging panel. That was so close.
Yeah, the split decision is showing how close that battle was. It was really nice to watch. I believe that was not enough to decide who is the winner. However, Mari and Vernon thought that that attack from Connor on his chase position in the last section was just enough to give him the win.
Thank you very much, David. And we're going to fire straight back down to trackside with Becky, and Becky's down there with Connor Shanahan.
Connor, congratulations. You've made your way all the way into the final. I mean, we've got to talk about it. Those transitions, the way you load the car up and manage to just perfectly time it onto his door. Can you tell us what you're actually doing in the car to be able to time it that well?
It's a lot of different things. My spotter really said, really focus on the transitions, even if I have to sacrifice a little bit of proximity in places. Once the timing is better, we knew that we had a chance, but overall it was a really close battle. I started to lose him a little bit in outer zone 4 and then just tried to sacrifice it a little bit to get back into the pocket. But first or second place tonight, no matter what. I really thought Laurie beat Peter, to be honest, and I was like, oh, we might get a bit of a break, but Peter's still fighting. I know he's going to put on a fight now, but when you have against two Shanahans, we have a little bit of an advantage, so come on, Jackie boy, get the job done.
I was about to say, there's a big battle coming up with Jack and Peter. It's a big one for you.
Every time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to stay in their way for much longer. I'm sure this one is going to be a good one, but I hope we can share an all-Shanahan final tonight. It will be special.
Absolutely, Connor. Congratulations. We'll see you in the final.
Thank you very much, Becky. And yeah, the two Shanahans won't give up that easy.
No.
And they need to get the job done. Look at this. Sheer determination on the face of Jack Shanahan, a big nod, a big shake of the hand. He has a big task on his hand right now. Jack Shanahan is going to go head-to-head with the man leading the points, with a man with a three-time European Championship underneath his belt. The three-time Drift Masters champion sits on the line to lead them out. The higher qualifier decides to lead first, but nothing separating these two guys.
No.
Yesterday in qualifying, 0.5.
No, nothing, just nothing. They're both on absolute heaters. They've both been incredibly perfect throughout so much of this night. I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't even want to find out. I just want to sit here and absorb.
Tell you what,
what's
I
gonna
do.
happen.
I do.
I guess.
Give me the tea. I want to know everything. Here we go. They're on the line. They're ready to go. It's going to be Shanahan to take down Piotr Wiecek. Can he do it? He said he's not going to stop until the job is done, and they fire into initiation. And look at that from Wiecek. He's on the outside zone, but there's a wobble, and Shanahan has to back out. But now reins him back in and gets back into the fight as Shanahan goes for the door. Oh, big dive from Shanahan in outside zone 4. We've not seen anyone do that. Shanahan goes for it once again, goes for the big flick, as Peter puts it towards the wall, to final outside zone, as Shanahan's with him.
All right, this is what I expected. Jack just to go crazy, to just unleash full Jack Shanahan on him. This was nuts. Piotr, just a very rare mistake. There is just a small opening here that Piotr left on the table. Outside zone 1 to outside zone 2. We saw it happening in qualifying. We saw this spot on the track just does some strange things.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is so obscure for Piotr. I mean, and then, yeah, Jack just getting wild, all up in the side of Piotr, all the way through. A dive into 4 like that is wild. Just trying to body slam him through the whole track. And right there, again, oh my gosh, Jack Shanahan is just an absolute wild man. But that is what it's going to take out Piotr Wiecek. Right now, in my mind, I'm going back to flashbacks of qualifying.
Yeah.
Jack Shanahan trying that nuts entry. Now, it didn't work in qualifying, but is that something he tries to pull out now, where he goes, I don't know, because that is not a definitive run in any way.
No. For me, Peter started to drive into beast mode on the second half of that battle.
Yes.
He knew that he'd made a mistake on outside zone 2, and you could see the way he turned up instantly inside the car. He flicked the switch and he said, we're not messing around, we're going for it. And he drove harder on the second half of the run because he had to push the car to the limit. And you could see Jack Shanahan was just struggling with a little bit of grip and a bit of pace to keep up with Peter.
Yeah, it's starting to break through. Piotr's been so calm, collected all the way through. He's had all of his faculties together, and then that moment of a Shanahan just getting and crawling under his skin, just that little bit, saying, hey, you're not perfect. This wasn't a perfect run, and I'm going to show you. Man, this is becoming psychological warfare between these two drivers.
It certainly is, and it's going to continue all the way through until we get to the final. And it's lights on and away we go as these guys now wait for the green light, and Shanahan will now lead out Piotr Wiecek at a spot for the final. Waits for one of these guys. It's an early initiation from Wiecek as he fires onto the door of Shanahan. There's no mistakes from Shanahan though, as he puts it right to the edge of the circuit. And look at the lead line from Jack Shanahan as Wiecek though dives through the smoke onto the front wheel, and he does repay the the favour. He does what Shanahan did as they fire back once again. Jensek throwing everything at it. He wants it. He's hungry for it. But the lead line from Shanahan is absolutely flawless.
This is all-out war. That's what this is now. Everything else is gone. All the strategy, I'm going to try and be perfect. No, this is a fight to the bitter end all the way through this battle, as we can see now. Jack's significant other with this is crazy. This is crazy. The support that's going on from both these countries, you can practically feel it in the air. Oh man, it's just nuts here. Like, I mean, Jack Shanahan is throwing Piotr off his game. He's pulling out things. Look at, you don't see Piotr like scramble a little bit, even in that transition. They're so calculated, and we're seeing him really work the wheel all the way through. Oh man, this is nuts. Piotr there had to hold up a little bit, and then kind of made that a little bit later of a dive. So there's some spots in here. This was not perfect from either driver, and I really think this pressure is now starting to get to them. They understand what is on the line. Still a fun run, still incredible, but not perfect, and it just puts some doubt in both drivers' minds.
It certainly does put doubt in both drivers' minds, and I think it puts doubt in a lot of people's minds. No one knows what ways he's going to swing. There was a mistake. Look at this, Connor Shanahan alongside his mother down there, and Jack's partner waiting for the decision to drop in, and look how nervous Connor is. He knows what this means, and you can see the family members there holding up the infamous flag there with the two Shanahans from Killevollen, and the decision's in. Slide them left for Shanahan, right for Jensek. Who's it going to be? It's going to be a one more time. That's what it's going to be, and we're going to see it again. David Kalas, we have to come to you. They can't split the drivers.
Yeah, like if there is a run, which definitely needs to be one more time, this is the one. Like, you can see that one driver had better lead, one driver had better chase, and there is no splitting for this one. There was mistakes from both, but it was just awesome.
Thank you very much, David. Yeah, it was truly awesome, that is for sure. And I'm sure everyone here in Ferropolis and around the circuit will say, and everyone watching at home on Red Bull TV will equally say, we could watch that multiple times.
But it does show at this point in the night, when you're going against drivers like that, your perfection and all of that needs to start coming out. You need to get rid of it in a way, because it's pushing past being so calculated. What ends up winning now are these crazy entries, like these mad transitions, which, you know, if you're looking at a risk versus reward, it shouldn't make sense. You shouldn't be going for a transition like that, but you need to in order to get the win. Man.
Well, there we go. It's scenes down there from the Shanahan paddock as we can see tyres, fuel, and the nut guns ready to quickly turn around Jack's car. He'll be frantically getting his way back to the paddock to get the tyres changed, have a word with the team, have a word with his brother as well. You know, these guys have an incredible spot on Matty, but there's nothing like the brotherly relationship these two have, who drove together for so many years and spotted for each other and give each other advice. And you see Connor run back into their lorry, and I wonder, is he getting him a cold drink and, you know, cool him down and say, right, listen, this is what you need to do this time?
I think he might be grabbing a headset. I think this is the point where Matty may actually just put his headphones down and say, you know what, there's nothing I can tell you that's going to be better advice than what your brother's going to tell you. That's what I think goes on here. I think Matty's done everything he could tonight, and now it is just up to the Shanahans. This is nuts. I mean, I can't imagine the tension right now with that family and everything that's going on, fighting for this championship. Connor desperately wants that second championship, and Jack so deserving of a championship, and he's right on the precipice of it. And in order for him to do it, in order for him to become a champion, he has to win this battle now. It is so do or die for Jack Shanahan.
Well, I mean, look, mathematically, they don't trust me with calculators or numbers, because, you know, I've made mistakes historically. If Peter goes out to the third or fourth place playoff and he finishes third tonight, how does that leave the points with Connor? Does Connor then overtake him? That's what I want to know. You've got it. Oh, you've got the abacus back out again, and here we go. Look, you see the frantic scenes down there, and Connor talking to Liam, their main mechanic, their head mechanic down there in the Shanahan pits, and you can see the local commentators now trying to get the crowd involved, getting the phone torches out, trying to create some ambiance around the circuit. Jacob's doing some... Are you
We're doing some math. We're doing some math.
You and
I
you
wanna-
and the truck that
Yeah.
you're talking behind the scenes, trying to work everything out at the moment.
There's multiple calculators going right now because if we're going to provide an answer, we want to make sure it is as correct as humanly possible.
And I'm going to stamp some authority. I want an answer.
No, that's fair. That's totally fair. We've been keeping track of the points as we go throughout this night. I've got a nice big.
And look at this. Look, moral support down there. You can see Dwayne McKeever in the pits with the Shanahans. You can see Bagsy down there in the pits, and Jack's partner Connor down there as well, talking to Jack. Jack not getting out of the car. He's going to stay in the car to keep himself focused and keep himself in the zone. And unfortunately, we don't have views from Peter's pits. And we're trying to get the calculations done right here because I want to know how this is going to end up. If we leave here in that situation, how do we look going into Poland?
Yeah, I mean, to me right now, Connor, I mean, if Piotr goes out at this point, maybe sticks in fourth, he's going to be stuck at 370. Connor then, I mean, he right now is at 354, so he could pick up those points. Yes, Connor could easily surpass Piotr. Jack, I think, is a bit more of a stretch on that
Well,
one.
there we
Still
go. We've got
working on that
the RF camera down there in the pits.
Got it.
Piotr Więcek, and they're working away on that car. Look at this. They're just talking to Peter, having a word with him, checking out everything, making sure he's all good. The tyres are changed. The car is refueled. You can see the crew down there.
Yeah, so
And it looks like they're frantically trying to work with the communication. So the radio from Peter's helmet to the car, they're trying to get that hooked back up again.
interesting. Okay, I got some answers for
So
you.
you've got
here.
some answers. Tell me, Jacob, tell me.
So Connor can surpass Piotr on this one. Jack, even if Piotr goes out at this point, won't make up enough points to be able to put him in first or second place. So he'd still be behind Piotr, but he would be in third overall. So it is at that point we're pretty much looking at a 3-horse race going into the finals. So there's still a lot here to go. I mean, you're picking up points as you move on throughout these rounds, and really, I mean, it's going to be tough either way. This is just not easy, but you want as much of an advantage, or at least to close the gap as much as possible once this night is over.
We certainly do. Well, there we go. And if that isn't a reason for you to grab tickets for the final at the PGA Narodowo in just a few weeks' time in Warsaw, in the capital of Poland, then why not? Head on over to Driftmasters, grab your tickets for the final event. 55,000 people. We have a Red Bull Driftmasters final where we've got a race of champions. We've got David Coulthard coming along,
yeah.
Carlos Sainz. We've got them all.
So it's a wild event. I'm actually kind of shocked there's still tickets available. I'd heard rumors of how quick they were
There's
selling
only 4.
out. Yeah.
One's your seat. We're going to sell your seat.
Oh, man.
You're going to have to stand.
That's fine with me. I mean, listen, I'm standing through so many of these events anyway, so that's fine. There it is. Jack Shanahan out of the pits. Team smacking the trunk, smacking the roof, and getting him ready to go as they both pull into the burnout box.
Yeah, there we go. And you can see the Shanahan's very, very close to the entry to the track, the warm-up box, and Peter sitting in that car again. You got the goggles on. They must be working for him. You know, he said to Becky, I don't know if they work, but they seem to be a good luck charm this weekend, so we're wearing them.
Yeah, I got a lot of DMs about it and how it's helpful to be able to cut through the smoke and some of the some of the fogginess that you kind of get with that you can see a little bit clearer, especially paired up with those yellow headlights. So adding those two things together, a couple of drivers even told me it actually makes a pretty big difference when you're in the chase.
Mad how the sport is now evolving to a point where the tinted visor, you know, historically people have gone for a black one or a silver one, you know, just to try and block out the sunlight. Now they're thinking about the night events, swap the visor out. We're talking like Formula One levels of helmet changes and visor changes and car setup changes between qualifying and top 32. And this sport is evolving so quickly every year.
It's anything to get a bit of an advantage. I mean, we're even seeing drivers now who are pointing their headlights at 45 degrees in either direction. So that way when they're at angle in the chase, it's pointing straight ahead.
Yeah.
So it's just every bit of advantage. What I do love about this right now is you've got the Shanahans, which is just a very scrappy team. If you go and look at these cars, they are low tech for a reason. They don't want anything to break. It's like if it doesn't need to be there, it's not there. And Piotr's car, it is incredibly complex. It is just so heavily developed, and that is what has allowed him to do this. So just a battle in so many different ways: chassis, driver, upbringing, country, everything. So cool. And at the end of the day, here they are, just trying to get ahead of each other in a championship fight.
There we go, back on the line they go, and they're ready for action. Tyres warmed on the backs of these cars. This is for a spot in the final. Who will take it through to the final? Will it be the man that was leading the points coming into this weekend? The two-time round winner of 2025, Piotr Więcek. He sits in that car, shakes his head left to right, tightens the belts. Or will it be the Irishman, Jack Shanahan, who wants to battle his brother like he did last night under the lights here in Ferropolis in Germany at round 6? We wait to get the thumbs up all round, and we do, and the lights start to illuminate as they pop green. It's going to be Piotr to lead them off, and through the gears they come. They've felt each other out once already, and now they know how this one's going to play. And look at the angle from Shanahan. He's almost backwards onto the wall. No mistakes from Peter this time as they both get into it. No messing around, straight into those outside zones. Both cars on the rev limiter as they enter outside zone, and Shanahan's closer than he was before. Now backs off, gives him the room to manoeuvre, but almost takes a back end off the Supra. Shanahan said he was going to blow the doors off Peter, and he almost has across the line.
They're stepping up again, and Piotr, he's had to get more aggressive. He's now has to play Jack's game throughout this run. He's still precise, but it's now this much more aggressive, almost angry run that he's doing. And this is going to possibly fall right into favor for Jack Shanahan, who initiates so early. Look at the angle he's already got. Look, he has to scrub out that angle, and Piotr then finally adds angle in near the end, but Jack just anticipates. He does it before him and is in the perfect spot. There's not many drivers who've been able to get so close on outside zone 1 and into outside zone 2. That is arguably the most difficult spot to be able to get that car completely side by side. And Jack Shanahan throws a complete Hail Mary to be able to do that. Piotr, now look at these transitions. They're getting faster. They're still very precise. And then Jack does the same thing. He's almost transitioning in between. And look at Connor. Just, I mean, sweating bullets through this entire battle. This is wild. And really, for Jack Shanahan, he has forced Piotr off his game just a little bit. Even that last outside zone.
I was just going to say, I didn't want to call it again, but yeah, you have to. At this point, we're splitting hairs, and he has pushed Peter to a point where Peter's almost overthinking, overdriving the car, and he almost misses the outside zone. Yeah, he drops a wheel in it, but the judges wanted to see these guys at this level, at this point of competition, with the tail lights touching or kissing the wall.
Yeah, Jack Shanahan is living rent-free in Piotr Więcek's head right now.
Oh, for sure, 100%. There's no messing around. Shanahan now sits on the line. He's going to ask the question to Piotr Więcek, can you fire in as hard as me? Can you go as fast as me? Have you got the chase in you that I just threw down? He get the thumbs up all around, and the man from Ireland would love nothing more than to battle his brother in the final. As a light goes green, it's going to be Shanahan to lead out Więcek for a spot in the final. Both cars pop a flame on initiation. They fire down. Shanahan on it nice and early, dives in the angle, but look at Więcek. He's with him, touches the foot brake, dips the front end of that Supra onto the side of that GT86 as they fire up back onto the wall again. Outside zone 4, nice and early from Shanahan, but it opens the door for Więcek as Więcek's absolutely glued to the side of Jack Shanahan. A nice transition, but Shanahan's deeper onto the wall. Więcek can't be shaken. The Polishman's with him across the line.
What a back and forth here, because Piotr normally is winning so much of this in the lead with these absolutely perfect leads, and for Jack, he's normally winning these in the chase and is completely swapped around. There's definitely some cracks in the armor of Piotr Więcek in the lead, but then he gets in on the chase and he's just dooring Jack Shanahan all the way around. They have switched roles and driver profiles throughout this run. It's so crazy how they are adapting and trying to beat each other at their own games. Look at how early Jack Shanahan gets into outside zone 4.
Crazy.
So early. I mean, it's wild, and it allows for an incredible chase from Piotr Więcek. This is just one of those battles that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be thinking about. This goes down in history this night, for sure, as one of the craziest sets of battles we've ever seen. And every camera is trained on all of these zones. Everybody is looking for that shot just to try and prove how insane this night is.
Look at this, Peter doesn't even take the helmet off. Does he think he could go again? Does he wonder what the decision is? As we can see, these two guys excited, happy, out of the car, taking a breath of fresh air after what was an incredible one more time battle again for these two guys. Judges will have to make a decision, but there's big discussions going down, and not one judge yet has put in their answer to who they think will be the guy facing off against Conor Shanahan in the final. And you can see David Kalas having a discussion with Vernon Svanefeld and Mateusz Jedges, and our fourth EVS judge down the back end there, Chris Witowski. Those guys doing a sterling job all season so far. Just one more round to go for them guys, and they get a nice little break in the off-season to reset and come again. And look at the replay, though. These two guys just side by side, glued to each other. Perfect transitions. just a few small cracks in the armor for some of these guys.
Yeah, it's going to come down to centimeters here. It's going to be a few zones here or there where they didn't fill it out nearly as much. The judge is still going through those replays. They really are. They're comparing each zone at this point in time. They're trying to break it down.
And look at this, Peter and Jack just asking people to move away from the big screen down there on the track so they can see the decision. Look how nervous Connor is. He wants to lead the championship going into this. Judges still deliberating. Look at the amount of media down there waiting to see the decision. Who will take the win? We are about to find out. The judges are almost done. They need to make a decision on this one. They've got the Wally system into play. They've got everything going into this one.
Yeah, this is so
Peter's
tough.
eyes. Peter doesn't know either. Nor does Jack.
It's tough. I mean, I can't imagine. This has got to feel like years going by for these drivers and for everybody sitting in the stands right now and everybody at home waiting to find out what the judges are going to say, because it is one of the tightest battles I have ever seen.
It certainly is one of the tightest battles I've ever seen. It's the tightest one more time battle I've ever seen as well. We wait for the decision to drop in, and these two guys nervously wait down trackside, and so do their crew as they bite their fingernails in anticipation of will they see the two brothers face off in the final here in Germany, or we see a replay of Connor versus Peter. Once again, the decision's in. Slide them left for Jack and right for Peter. It's one vote for Peter. It's one vote for... It's Jack Shanahan gets the win and advances to the final to face off against his brother. We have a complete replay of last night's qualifying showdown. It will be Shanahan versus Shanahan and Pavel Korpolinski to take on Viensek. Wow!
It is not often that we see these judges not all going the same way. It doesn't happen all that often, but it just shows you how close this is. I mean, judges now finally having a discussion about it. Usually they try to do this in isolation. Now they're trying to figure out, because that was tough. It was very tough.
It certainly was tough, and we're going to have to come to you, David Kalas. Once again, a split judging panel. Our fourth EVS judge has his hands in his head. He doesn't know what's going on. That was a tough one more time.
Hey, come on, like, we need to have one more time. Like, that was so close. We were looking into every single detail of the run. Like, what we were discussing mainly, what was waiting more, that amazing lead what Jack provided, or that amazing chase of Piotr which he provided. It was like very splitting the hair here and there. For me, it was like half a point for Piotr. For the other two judges, it was half a point more for Jack. And I need to agree with them because it was very hard to choose which driver was able to pull it at this moment. And it was incredible job from both drivers.
Thank you very much, David. And yeah, these guys sweating. They're sweating in here. We've got the aircon on full blast because these guys are absolutely sweating. Look what it meant to the Shanahan family. You can see Corey down there embracing. And look at this, we see what it meant to Jack. And Becky's down there with Jack Shanahan. Wow, what a weekend for the Shanahans.
Jack, a huge, huge battle for you there. You said as you got out the car, I had nothing more to give. But with your words before that last battle, you said, I'm going to take him down. You believed in yourself and you made it happen.
Yeah, to be honest, it's the first time in a while I've actually told myself I'm going to do it, and I went and done it. Like, to be honest, the first battle I kind of messed up the initiation of my chase, and I knew that was kind of the only thing I could tidy up, and it paid off. Like, I just done the same thing again, just banged out that like perfect lead in my opinion, and yeah, just sent it as hard as I could in the chase, and it paid off. Like, but that was the limit. Like, I have no more to go. The car is at 110% now. I'm at 110%, and like, I don't know. I think me and Connor can now take a bit of grip out of the cars for the final, and we can put on a better show maybe. But finally back on the podium with Drift Masters, it means a lot. And yeah, I just got to take it all in. It's a good one. A whole team in the final again, but Connor got his win last night. I think it's time to take that off him now.
I can see what it means to you on your face. I mean, we can talk about championships and what this means with points, but to see you and your brother in the final, it's almost immaterial at this point. It's about just getting yourselves there. How are you feeling ahead of the next battle?
Yeah, no, like the championship is not even a thought in my brain. And to be honest, Connor said to me before I took off, he was like, forget about the championship. He was like, we just need this final in front of all these people. Two boys from Killavullen just doing our best. And here we are in front of the biggest stage of the world. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely, Jack. Congratulations. We'll see you in the final. Big battle with your brother coming up.
Thank you very much, Becky. Yeah, you could see what it meant to Jack Shanahan. Look at that, the team's still down there. You can even see the Drift Games team in the paddock now and everyone surrounding. Here we go. This is what it looks like. The playoff will be Piotr Wieniec to take on Paweł Korpolinski. That one is going to be incredible. The surgeon takes on the man, the three-time Drift Masters champion. Then it will be the all-Shanahan final in Germany. Jack's already said it. Connor's had one this year. It's time for me to stand on the top step. Well, this is the way that Jack Shanahan got to that final. Let's take a look right back to the beginning of the day when it all kicked off for him. He took down the Polishman, David Spossum, in a really good battle. And you can see Shanahan's form already coming alive here.
Yeah, it started so early, even before that, for qualifying and practice and everything else. And Spossum, I mean, you can't be mad with the performance that he put in on this battle, especially, you know, end up losing to a driver that ends up going to the finals. And then right after that, we get into Espen Rhodes.
I mean, look, Espen Rode, not an easy contender on any day of the week, but Espen Rode this weekend just couldn't hang with the pace and just couldn't really get himself into the groove under the lights here in Germany. And Jack Shanahan took a win against Espen Rode, and you can see how flawless Shanahan's been all evening. He's just been absolutely dialed in on the zone, and then took down a man that, well, we said at the beginning of the weekend, looked absolutely flawless. Mika Keskikorpi, the Finnish driver, again, another driver that I think maybe got in his own head and got himself a little flustered in the situation.
Yeah, I think that's really what it came down to, but Mika Keskikorpi once again showing why he deserves to be here and providing, I mean, an experience that shows he will be a future champion. And now we get into a battle that is going to be talked about forever. I mean, this is splitting hairs to the highest degree, and I don't think anybody had any idea which way this is going to go. Even the judges, I mean, pulling out their hair, just trying to figure out which way this is going to end up going, and still a split call.
Yeah, certainly was a split call and came down to a flawless lead over everything. But this is the way that Connor Shanahan got here. It kicked off this morning with a really tough battle against a good friend of his, Dwayne McKeever, and Jarkko Euler, as he underestimated the Finnish driver, is what he told everyone else. He didn't realise how fast Jarkko Euler was, and it was only that mistake there from Jarkko Euler that knocked him out of the battle. That and the wall run outside zone 1. Yeah,
Jarkko Euler looks so good in practice, and one that the judges told us to keep an eye on, but unfortunately losing out to the Shadow Shanahan, who then went on to go and battle Dwayne McKeever in a one more time battle. This another one that could have gone either way, but a couple little mistakes, very, very scrappy there from Dwayne McKeever, who tried to put on the pressure of the fellow Irishman, but ultimately it was not enough to take him down. But very, very proud of the performance of Connor.
Yeah, certainly so. And then Connor Shanahan didn't stop there. He went on to battle the Czech driver, Marko Zacharil. A little rub of the green, we said it there before, and Marko Zacharil losing a boost pipe or a charge pipe from wherever you are in the world. And Marko Zacharil, no time to repair that car here at Drift Masters. We don't do 5-minute rules, so unfortunately it was a 10-0. Marko Zacharil said, like, I can't lead you out. It's just not in it. And then Paweł Korpolinski, the surgeon. This battle was just, again, another unbelievable battle.
Absolutely epic. I mean, Korpolinski, yeah. What can you say other than he's just so good? And unfortunately getting that pairing with Connor, I mean, any other driver, he would have been going to the finals, but now gets to battle it out for third against another driver who is almost as perfect, if not more perfect in some ways. Like, it's so hard to say, and that'll be against Piotr. I mean, both drivers want those points, especially for the top three. So take a look at the Shanahan camp here.
Yeah, there we go. Scenes as Jack returns back to the Shanahan pit, and these guys are elated, but the car gets turned around quickly because they need to go head to head. And ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the playoffs. Well, only one spot remains on the podium for one of these guys, but who will it be taking it to the podium? Will it be the surgeon, Paweł Korpolinski, the man that's been on this podium multiple times before? Or will it be the man that has all of the pride of Poland on his back, Piotr Wieniec? He sits on the line in the lead position, the higher qualifier opting to lead first. Korpolinski, though, we know he's been clinical. We nicknamed him the surgeon this weekend because of his driving all season, of how clean it's been, how clinical he has been behind the wheel of that car.
Yeah, and now he's going up against another driver that's just as clinical. So this is going to be an incredibly precise match between these two, jousting of the highest degree.
It certainly is. With the car slamming together, we get the green light. This is for the third step on the podium, the first run of our fourth place playoff as they flick that car to angle. Korpelinski gets into it onto the back bumper of the A90 Supra, and they go into the wall. Look at this, absolutely beautiful from both guys at the moment. Full throttle, no messing around as Korpelinski looks for the side of the A90 Supra and loses a little ground. The transition, full throttle from Vincek as he gets into the outside zone, and full throttle once again as he transitions into 5, kisses the tail light off the wall, but it opens the door for Pavel Korpelinski as he pushes Vincek across the line.
Yeah, this is just solid. Now, Piotr knows who he's up against, knows the precision that he's going to get out of Korpelinski, and is able to kind of come back a little bit. Doesn't have to be as wild, doesn't have to be as erratic as what he had to do just to battle Jack Shanahan. So we see here a big, long initiation, getting that car, adding in just a little bit more angle as he gets to that zone, and then back on the throttle. And Pavel does a really good job of mirroring him all the way through this. Maybe not completely on the door, but so good at mirroring everything that is going on in front of him. It really is a masterclass in that. Maybe, you know, you would love to see him completely on the door, but that's not how Korpelinski does this. He does a great job of just making sure that whatever you do, I'm going to do the exact same thing right behind you in the exact same spot.
Yeah, Korpelinski's just... he just absolutely oozes talent as a driver. Like, it's everything you'd want to be. Both of these guys just ooze talent. The lead lines, the chase lines, the timing of the transitions, the way they're able to position the car on circuit is just phenomenal.
Yeah, this is just crazy. And now that they swap things around, what is Piotr going to do? Is he able to, you know, match that same precision that we see at Korpelinski? Is he going to kind of get a little bit tighter in the chase? Because that's the only spot right now that I could see.
Does he take a leaf? Does he take a leaf out of Jack Shanahan's book and go a little bit more aggressive?
Maybe. I mean, that little bit of aggression may not. I mean, that kind of put him here. So do you just go back and play your game and forget what just happened and go, hey, I'm still going to pick up some points for third?
Who knows? We're going to find out, though, that's for sure. As the light goes green, they're off the line. It's going to be Pavel Korpelinski to lead and Piotr Viensek to chase him down as they fire in. Look at Viensek down onto the door already as they get it to the wall. A nice line already from Pavel Korpelinski out front, but he's going to come up a little shy on the outside zone, but nevertheless, he's going to fire it through on full throttle down with the hammer. It sets himself up perfectly for outside zone 4, but there's no shaking Viensek. His fellow Polishman wants it. He's hungry for it. He wants to taste the champagne this weekend in Germany. He goes for the front wheel. Viensek absolutely glued to him.
Yeah, he did what I thought he was going to do. He calmed himself back down and went, the only way I'm going to beat him is by going back to that precision. I've got to be super precise, and I know how much distance he had on me, and I'm going to close that gap up all the way around. And for me, that's really what Piotr did the whole way through. And Pavel, I mean, again, just another solid lead run. It's got to be such a pleasure to chase this driver because he's predictable. The line is always good. The angle is completely solid. He's stable through the whole thing. There's no big bobbles or corrections at any point in time throughout the run. So Piotr gets to highlight and showcase how good of a chase driver he really is in this battle. So just so clean, so smooth and calculated. A great battle. And it really shows you, too, this juxtaposition in the styles of driving.
Yeah.
The battle we just saw versus the battle we see now, you know, all incredible, but very different.
Well, there could be only one man on the first step of the podium. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Piotr Viensek. And Viensek gets the win and takes third place here at Germany in round 6. And fourth place goes to Pavel Korpelinski. And the Polish are still happy. Nevertheless, there's a man on the podium. And Becky is down there. And Becky is going to go down there to Peter and get his reaction after a tough weekend. Some serious driving, unbelievable. Becky's with Peter.
Peter, some incredible driving this weekend. That was a hard-fought battle, but you found yourself on the third step this weekend.
Yeah, I'm very happy that I'm on the podium, especially here, you know, in front of such an amazing audience. Thank you guys for cheering me up and always for, as now, for a great entertainment. Yeah, I tried my best. I'm still a bit ashamed about myself, about my leads before, but yeah, it is what it is. It's a third place. I should be happy, actually. It's great. I could be knocked out in top 32, so it feels amazing to be especially in here. I'm a bit exhausted also after all those days, so yeah, can't wait to recover, but about now we are just waiting for a podium ceremony and who will be the finalists. Congratulations to both Shanahans. Already they proved that they are great drivers, and now let's wait who's going to be on top.
we've got to talk about the exhaustion that you guys feel moving through an event like this, night and day.
Oh yeah. It's really tough to figure it out, the zones, especially when it's getting dark. The grip is actually starts to increase. So we already gripped up our cars, and once the grip increase on the track, the cars are getting even harder to drive. So I don't know, maybe I put it a bit too much into my head. That's why I messed up some of my leads. But overall, I'm happy about my last run. It provided me the 3rd place, and I'm very, very happy about it. So yeah, thank you guys once again. Dziękuję bardzo wszystkim fanom z Polski. Widzimy się na Narodowym. Woo!
Congratulations, Peter, on 3rd step here at round 6 of Ferropolis.
Thank you very much, and yeah, you can see what it means to Peter. But here we go, this is the final battle, ready to rock and roll. Both brothers leave the pits and applauded by their fellow countrymen and their team and their fans. But ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the final. Two brothers sit on the line from a small village in the south of Ireland. They travelled all around Europe together multiple times throughout the years. They've followed each other from continent to continent, driving alongside each other. And now they find themselves battling each other once again in a final battle here at Drift Masters. For not the first time, and for certainly not the last time. They did it last night in the qualifying showdown, where Conor Shanahan took the clean sweep. First place in qualifying, first place in the qualifying showdown. But Jack Shanahan said it earlier. He said, there is no way I am going to let Conor stand on the top step of the podium this weekend. It's my turn to taste the champagne and hold that first place trophy in my hand. But will the steeliness of Conor Shanahan allow him to do that? The man that now leads the championship going into Poland, the final, and the PGA Narodowy in a few weeks' time. Who will it be? Will one brother fall to another? Will the aggressiveness of Jack overturn the cleanliness of the Shadow?
This goes back so far. This goes back to driving in fields. This goes back to taking cars out and banging doors as best friends, and two people growing up in a crazy, crazy life and just doing everything they can to compete and to get to this level. And it now comes down to this here in Germany. How does this play out? Who is going to go harder? Who is going to give up at any point in time? Are we even going to end this with any cars left? Because these drivers are going to put everything on the line and go back to battling like it's 200 horsepower cars on a wet track somewhere in the middle of Ireland.
Well, I'll tell you what it means for both of these drivers. It means for Conor Shanahan that if he wins, he leads the championship going into the PGA Narodowy. If he loses, Peter still leads the championship going into the PGA Narodowy. This means more to Conor than it does to Jack, but emotionally, it means more to Jack to overcome all those devils that he's had this year throughout multiple championships. The lights get flickered, the car slam into gear, the green light goes, and it's going to be Conor Shanahan to lead out Jack Shanahan for a spot on the top step of the podium. And already a gap's opened up as Conor fires down, but now Jack starts to rein in his brother as he squeezes the accelerator and looks for that perfect lead line that Conor put on last night. As they fire into outside zone 4, Jack finds the door, takes a step in and starts to push his brother across the circuit. Conor fires into the outside zone 6, and Jack's with him as he goes for the front wheel. It's Shanahan on Shanahan across the line.
This is no games, this is no strategy, this is just two brothers going head to head and battling it out in front of all of these people. This is what we signed up for. An incredible battle right off the bat, just scrappy and aggressive and just never backing down at any point in time. Conor Shanahan leading his brother out onto this circuit, and this feels right. This feels like drifting, because everything is on the table for them, but I guarantee it's all blacked out. It's just, let's go out and run our race. Let's bang doors like we've always done it, and whatever happens, happens. Conor Shanahan absolutely crushing out on this lead run, and Jack Shanahan in tow all the way around, making some dives, having some great transitions, but right now, Conor Shanahan just has a touch more speed all the way through this track, and Jack kind of pulls back just a little bit. Maybe he throws out something crazy now. Does he do something to try and shake his brother, knowing that he wasn't on the door all the way through? What happens next will define history for times to come, and it all comes down to this final run here in Germany.
It certainly does. Or could it be the final run? We've seen it before.
Yeah.
We could be looking one more time. Both guys pull to the back of the grid, and now the tyres start to get called by the team members of both drivers.
Yeah, I mean, these are identical vehicles. Both these cars were basically built side by side in a little shop. I mean, this is just what drifting is to me. This is friends and family going head to head, putting everything that they've got into a dream. And that dream is to stand on the podium, to be crowned champion, to hold a trophy, to taste the champagne. And you literally give up absolutely everything just for a shot at that.
I certainly would. Everything is on the line this weekend. And here we go. They pull to the line. No games played. It's just heads up, driver on driver. Two cars identical as they sit on the line. And it's going to be Conor Shanahan to chase down Jack Shanahan. Will Jack try something different? Will he throw everything at it? They look for the green light. Could this be the final run of round 6 2025 as they come off the line? It's going to be Jack Shanahan to lead out his brother Conor, and Conor fires it in onto the back wheel already. But look at the lead line from Jack Shanahan as he puts it to the wall. Now Conor loses some ground. He starts to regain it as he shortcuts the circuit, but look at the flawless line into outside zone 4 from Jack Shanahan. Conor's with him. Onto the front wheel he goes. He pops through the smoke on transition. Jack Shanahan finds the edge of the circuit, but Conor's buried onto the door. Conor Shanahan pushes Jack across the line.
Yeah, this is what we expected. Jack Shanahan, just a masterful lead driver, and Conor Shanahan, we call him the Shadow for a reason because he is always behind you. He is just stuck to you the entire time, and that is what Conor does here. Jack, Conor, both, I mean, if you blur your eyes, you have no idea which car it is because they're just so asynchronous all the way through this run. Look at calm and collected. If there's any pressure, you would have no idea because these drivers are just running their race and having fun like they always have. What a beautiful shot there. The lights of Germany from all the fans in the background as Conor Shanahan makes that incredible transition once again. Man, look at that. So much trust and so much faith in his brother as they come through our final zones. And Conor ends it in traditional fashion by leaving a mark on the door of his opponent.
Unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. Textbook driving from both of these guys. Perfect leads, perfect chases, transitions that don't even make sense in pure darkness here in Germany under the lights, and they both pull up to jump out of the car, and there'll be a fun conversation between these two guys of who made what mistake and where was who going, that's for sure, because they'll both critique each other's and their own driving as they step out of those cars. They wave to the crowd, they shake hands, and what a scene to see these two young gentlemen who come from that small town Kilvallen in Ireland, growing up, driving together and becoming these two superstars in European drifting.
Yeah, this is how we wanted this night to end, with just a heads-up battle, whoever it was, and it's just such a cherry on top of the cake to have these two incredible drivers being the ones that are doing it. So either way, they're both going to be proud of each other, and either way, they're both going to be just a little bit disappointed. This is like, I love these conversations too.
The cool-down room needs to be in full effect, that's for sure. Well, they both take off their hands devices. The decision's in. Slide it left for Conor Shanahan, right for Jack Shanahan. It's going to be Conor Shanahan taking the win and taking a clean sweep this weekend in Germany. P1 in qualifying, the first place winner of the qualifying showdown, and first place here at the top 32 in the competition. Conor Shanahan takes it all this weekend, the Triple Crown. He does it all, and now he leads the points going in to the PGA Narodowy in Poland for the final, where this is not over. Becky's with him. Becky, what a weekend for Conor Shanahan.
Conor, a dream weekend for you. First in qualifying, winning the qualifying showdown, and now a final with your brother where you take the top spot. Can you even begin to tell me, with the emotions that I can see on your face, what is going through your mind right now?
Yeah, lots of emotions. I came here this week to do exactly what I done. What a feeling when you get that reward. You know, you put so much work into this sport sometimes, and I was really kind of left down in Riga with myself. I was just annoyed. I didn't know what happened, and I said I need a kick up the hole, as my dad would say, and just get back into gear. It was been a rough week coming up to this, but obviously just tried to find a good mindset. But what a feeling. Jack is an animal. I honestly thought that I wasn't going to beat him tonight. I think it's the best I ever seen him drive. And I thought I'd turn it away in the first corner. He went so deep, deeper than anybody else, and I was holding on as much as I could, but massive thanks to him. He's the person that why I have a car like this with DBM Engineering, Race Winning Brands, ECU Master, everybody who makes this boat go around. My team, a hot weekend, but they never stopped. They had so much work this weekend, but they done exactly what they needed to do. My partners, my fans, we're back. Thank you so much. The fight is on. I want to bring this championship back to Ireland, and I tried to show that tonight.
Let's talk about the fight. I mean, you're going into the PGA Narodov weight, the big final in Warsaw, the Red Bull final with the points lead. What are you going to be doing to prepare yourself for that?
Just the same as this week, take it lap by lap. You know, I just try to stay on my own this weekend, you know, get the music back into the ears and just separate myself, I think, from everybody and just, you know, focus on really what I had to do and have a clean weekend. And, you know, as I said, I came here to get max points, and to do that is not easy at this level, especially on a track like this. But yeah, the fight is on. I've won a championship in that exact place before. I know exactly how that feels. And everybody back home watching in Killavullen, all my friends who are supporting, thank you all so much. This win means the world to me.
Congratulations, Conor. You are the winner of round 6 of the Drift Masters Championship.
Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. The 3 guys that are going to stand on the top of the podium this weekend. 3 guys out of 50 drivers that had to get it done. And there we go. These are the final results for today. It will be Conor Shanahan in first place, Jack Shanahan in second, and Piotr Wieniawski in third place. But look at Korpolinski, look at Keski Korpi, Zachary Heinen Purser, some big names in that top 8 this weekend, finishing off proceedings. As we move down the order, you can see where everyone else has finished. A good weekend for Dwayne McKeever overall. No heartbreak, really. Just fair fight on circuit.
Yeah, if you're going to go out that way, I mean, same thing. Go out to the guy that's standing on top of the podium. But so many drivers impressed me this weekend. So many drivers making massive strides. And for a lot of them, I mean, you'd love to stand on the podium, but just, you know, getting to top 32, getting into top 16, whatever it is, that can be your win for the weekend. Man.
Well, let's take a look at the championship standings now. Let's see how close it is at the top, and it is very close. 12 points separate Conor Shanahan and Piotr Wieniawski. And look at that, Jack Shanahan jumps into third place in the championship with 300 points dead on. James Dean drops down to 4th, and Kevin Purser stays where he is in 5th. Korpolinski in the mix now in 6th place. Laurie Heinen in 7th. Tor Anikavia down there in 8th.
Yeah, so close here, and yeah, it's gonna be crowned in our next round. That's what you want it to be. Final round, final results.
Well, let's take a look at what we got coming up when we head to Poland. The PGA Narodov Way in Warsaw in the capital will be the boiling pot, the melting pot for the championship final, where we decide our winner.
Shanahan tags the wall, almost throws it away as Heinen backs it in across the line. Unbelievable again. What a final. What a finish. Peter.